we are going to start our chapter. Guess karo. We will be starting a chapter called Clubbing of Income. CA students, expectation versus reality. This is a Wednesday afternoon, not a Saturday evening. So there is huge difference in that clubbing and this clubbing. 2 minutes silence for those who thought, wow. Anyways, माहौल तो है, lights थोड़ा dim हो गया class का, so let's play some music and start here itself. Shall I call someone to take the benches outside? And there will be some space, we'll create the dance floor. But as I said, expectation versus reality. This is not that clubbing which you thought. This is something else. And I'll give you a short summary of the chapter. Whole chapter will get, concluded in this one summary. Is that small example. There is an income which is earned by someone called Y. There is a person called Y who has earned income. The income has come in the bank account of Y. Whoever paid that income, paid it in the account of Y, but this income will be taxable for, in legal language, when we say no, this income is taxable for you or taxable for me or something like that, we say this is taxable in the hands of, means if I say there is an income taxable for me, supposingly my professional fees, that is taxable for me. So I'll say my professional fees is taxable in my hands. Okay, that is how we refer to it legally. So, me saying taxable in the hands of, in the hands ki jagah pe you can just write taxable for. One and the same. Income will be earned by Y. Will be taxable for X. That is clubbing. There will be an income which will be coming in the bank account of this assessee. And this assessee will pay tax on that. That is clubbing. We will say this income will be clubbed, merged, added in the taxable income of X. Earned by whom? Y. But who will we make tax payment? X. That is called clubbing. When income earned by one person is taxable for someone else, that is called clubbing. When income of one person will be taxable for someone else, that will be called clubbing. Surprising. Very surprising. Well, sir, what is happening? Normal brain says, I earn income, I pay tax. You earn income, you pay tax. You earn income, you earn income. Whoever earns income pays tax. But here I am being made to pay tax on the income of someone else. Wow. Super cordial relations. Matlab, we are trying to say that neighbor's wife will earn income, but I will pay tax because there is a lot of love and affection. That's clubbing. Correct or no? Okay. Sir, why a chapter like this? Because you have made us develop this habit, this system. Which system, sir? That we should start questioning, we should start asking, why? What is the rule? Income of Y, matlab ye single wala Y. I am now asking you WHY. Why? Why? But the example is income of single Y. Taxable for single X. Why? WHY. Why? Why a provision like this? The idea is, this is the logic of the chapter. If you understand the logic, you will understand most things. Actually, this income was earned by X only. Who earned income? X earned income. If you earn income, matlab somebody is paying you. You go and tell the payer, payer, pay this in the name of Y. That is clubbing. That is clubbing. That the income was of X. But it was his instruction that the check should be made in the name of. You know who is Y? Y is X ka spouse, parents, children, brother, sister, friend, Rosie. क्या हंस रहा है? What did you understand? नहीं. Y is X का पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी रोजी. Lucy. Y is X का पेट. Artificial juridical person. Liable to pay tax. Sir, ऐसा क्यों? See, if I am earning, I should directly take it in my name. What is the sense of taking the income in the name of spouse, parents, siblings, children, Rosie, Lucy? The reason is, income will come in my household only. Understand please. Understand please. If I am earning income and I tell my payer to pay the income in the name of my wife, wife is an example. I told you wife can be anyone. It can be wife, parents, children, brother, sister, Rosie, Lucy, anyone. Wife is an example. I am earning income. The check should come in my name. But whoever is paying me, I tell that person, please pay me in the name of my wife. Now the money will come in my house only. That means that way I am unaffected. Do you understand? My money is not going away anywhere. My money is coming in my house only. But with a little difference. And the difference is somewhere hidden in the income tax ka rates of our income tax. Tax ka rates. The difference is somewhere hidden in tax ka rates. I know I have not taught you tax rates. Tax rates will happen after income is over. Only two things are left, NTTI and income. But roughly I told you that total income of the assessee is divided in small parts, which are known as slabs. First 2,50,000 ke upar we will always levy no tax, 0%. It is known as basic exemption. Next 2,50,000, that is 250 to 5%. Next 5 lakhs, that is 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%. And anything after 10 lakh, anything balance is taxed at 30, which means this, that if I have already earned 10 lakh rupees, so every rupee that I now earn is going to be taxable at a rate of. But if I take that same income in the name of my wife, who till now does not have any income. So, just imagine, supposingly my income is 12 lakh. Now, someone is paying me professional fees of 2 lakhs. If the check comes in my name, 30% tax. If the check comes in the name of my wife, till now she does not have any income, so 0% tax. Supposingly she has the 2.5 lakh other income, still 5% is better than 30. Till the time she also reaches 10 lakh, it is better, no? If she also reaches, no problem. Take it in the name of mother, brother, sister. If one house, there is one brother who is CA, other who is engineer, goes without saying that CA will be in 30% bracket and engineer below the basic exemption limit. So better to take money in his name. In all this, do you understand? The money is coming in your house only. But you are manipulating taxation laws to reduce your overall tax liability. And income tax has identified certain transactions where assessees are doing this and laid down this rule. That income will be earned by one person, but it will be taxed in the hands of someone else. Anybody out here who has income tax का officer in their family? No one, no? किसी का था ना चाचा वाचा somebody told me. Very far away का चाचा. So close your ears. वैसे भी he is तो generally sleeping in class. सोगा. He is a fan of sale of goods act. Soga. You were not there, no? Last few days, so you don't know. He is a fan of sale of goods act. Soga. You close your ears. Don't tell this to uncle. That uncle, my professor is working for 6-7 different organizations across the length and breadth of country. Never dependent. मैं तो ये तो आपको एक financial management का suggestion also I'm giving you. Never depend on one source. Because then you are dependent means then you are taking a risk. As simple. Here we are not talking about financial management. So with so many organizations, everyone pays. Okay. Now see, in real life, I am totally, all organizations together, I am below the basic exemption limit. Actual data is that. But take an example that I have crossed 10 lakh. Actually, the total income is less than 250. You can check my bank account if you want. But example that I have crossed 10 lakh rupees with 2 of the organizations. Maybe one of the example, example. So then next organization or third organization, I tell them, pay the check in the name of my wife. I also have HUF. Pay the check in the name of my HUF. 6-7 organizations will say, 2 in my name, 2 in HUF ka name, only 1 in wife ka name, but that 1 is video lectures ka same. And that is the biggest of all. And last 2 years mein to it has become even bigger. So that one thing in her name, little in HUF ka name, little kabhi पूछ लेता somebody willing to give cash, so that we don't have to show only. Do you understand? Neil, you're not listening, no? No. Did I tell you about my student who is an income tax officer? I did. He said that, sir, even if you say it in class, no, it cannot be used against you in any income tax proceeding. Very good knowledge I got. Because, sir, unless I back it up with any evidence, nothing can be done. Because, sir, in class you can say that I have a bungalow in London. But that cannot mean that I can prosecute you for that. Because I have to prove that you have a bungalow in London. But bungalow in London false hai. Abhi which example I gave you, wo to true hai. Uska kya? If investigated, it will turn out to be true. No. Okay, I'm saying it on record. Dar hi nahi hai. So listen, in cases like these, assessees are reducing their overall tax liability and therefore the chapter clubbing of income. We will not let you do that. Though you are receiving the income in the name of wife, I can be spouse, brother, sister, children, anyone. Tax will be paid by you, and that is clubbing. But this chapter has identified certain transactions. We just have to see what are those transactions. That's a short summary of your chapter, clubbing of income. Now that you have understood the whole idea, logic, summary of the chapter, I wish to hear from you in loud volume. Your volume should be so loud that everybody who is later watching the recording can actually identify कि हाँ इसका आवाज है, इसमें इसका नहीं. That should be your volume, the main charging section, because we are learning one part of that. 1, 2, 3. ये बुक खोल के नहीं बोलने का मतलब इट इज लाइक घड़ी देख के टाइम एनीवन कैन से, बिना देखे टाइम बताओ तो यू आर टैलेंटेड. कैलेंडर देख के डेट एनीबॉडी कैन से. हाँ तो 1, 2, 3 स्टार्ट. वेट, फर्स्ट लाइन बाय लाइन. इनकम टैक्स इज पेएबल. वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट. वी कैनॉट गो अनलेस वी कैलकुलेट टोटल इनकम. ठीक है. सेकेंड, पर्सन का डेफिनेशन वी हैव ऑलरेडी कंप्लीटेड इन द फर्स्ट चैप्टर इटसेल्फ. नेक्स्ट, असेसमेंट ईयर का मीनिंग वी नो, एंड इनकम ऑफ द प्रीवियस ईयर में प्रीवियस ईयर का मीनिंग ऑल्सो वी नो. मतलब पर्सन प्रीवियस ईयर, असेसमेंट ईयर का तो मीनिंग वी फिनिश एट द बिगिनिंग इटसेल्फ. बट व्हाट विल हैपन इन द प्रीवियस ईयर ऑन द नेक्स्ट. करेक्ट है. And I told you that this concept called NTTI will go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Endless है. After residential status जब से खत्म हुआ, याद करो, so many days we are doing income only. Because person previous year assessment year over, residential status over, income and tax. So we have not started only, no. Income is going on. First, what are the amounts not to be taken in taxable income? We studied a chapter called exempt income. Then what are the things we have to include? Include mein we finished house property first to give you a start with an easy chapter. Then we finished a big chapter, little complicated, but we have finished salary. Totally there are 5 heads. 5 mein se 2 are over. We are yet to do 3 more heads of income, that is business, profession, capital gain, other sources. But kya hai dekho, if you make computation of total income, you will add salary in your income. After doing all the computation that we have studied. So likewise, you will add house property. These 2 we have already studied how to calculate. Then one day we will learn how to calculate business, profession, capital gain and income from other sources. One day we will learn. But after the 5 heads are over, our income is still not computed. In fact, this is not even our gross income. This is just a total. In this we have to add any income which is going to be club. Means income which is going in the bank account of someone else. but I am that X. I have to add that. We still don't have gross income. After this, we have to study losses ka chapter, where if I have two businesses, 1 and 2, one profit, other loss, can we adjust this against each other? I have two capital gains, one gain, one loss. Can I adjust it? So that is a chapter called set off. After 5 heads, clubbing and set off. Matlab 5 heads will be added, clubbing will be added, but set off minus because we are adjusting the loss. Correct? Eh? What we get is gross total income. We still don't have the income on which we will calculate tax. From this gross total income, we will get deductions. That which casually in your real life office family, you must have seen life insurance premium ka ya medical insurance premium. That is deductions. All that will be subtracted from GTI. Ek to individual heads mein there are some deductions. Like entertainment allowance, professional tax paid, standard deduction, house property mein standard deduction, and your interest ka deduction. There are some deductions in heads. And now there is one deduction which will come from total. That's a chapter. Deduction under chapter 6. That is where we say that our NTTI is over. So NTTI mein only exempt income, salary and house property are over. We still have 3 heads, clubbing set of deductions. 6 chapters, and from that one small chapter I have selected today, where you are being made to pay tax on income earned by other person. That's our chapter, clubbing. Are you able to understand an introduction of the chapter and what is going to be covered here? Mitro, chaliye. So now that we have revised that main section from which NTTI is going on, and NTTI ka which part we are learning right now? Clubbing wala. Making you pay tax on income belonging to other person. Correct? Hai? So clubbing ka, what are the provisions given in income tax? First section of clubbing of income chapter. Section 60, transfer of income without transfer of asset. Transfer of income without transfer of asset. अरे copycats, तुम्हाला काय समजणार? Understood? Chalo, section 61 I will do that. Nahin? You will see stars in broad daylight if you only blindly copy and don't listen. So listen, it's time to listen. With the help of an example, please understand what exactly is happening out here. X owns 12% debentures of a company called A Limited, and face value of the debentures is rupees 1 lakh. First question, do we know what are debentures? Do we know what are debentures? What? It is like investment in a company only, just like share. Difference is shares get ownership rights, voting rights, and unlimited profits. Debenture holders don't get voting rights, but they do get guaranteed returns. Rate of interest is fixed. That is known as coupon rate. And on the face of the debentures itself, you can identify very carefully what is the coupon rate of these debentures. In effect, if I ask you, what is the name of the income that we will get? Name? Interest. And if you have understood the example, so how much is the interest that we will earn? Face value 1 lakh and 12% is the coupon rate. That means, in other words, can I say on these debentures of A Limited, Mr. X, the owner of the debentures, is eligible to get interest of rupees 12,000 hai? Barabar hai? Fantastic. Who should receive this interest? Being the owner. But X tells the company, please pay this interest to Y. And who is Y? Spouse, brother, sister, children, parents, Rosie, Lucy. Someone who is with me only. The income will come in my house only, but in the name of another person, so that I can exploit the slabs of that other person. Now observe what we have written in the heading and observe the example. Who is the owner of the debentures? That means who has invested in the company A Limited. Therefore, who holds the debenture as an asset investment. And the one who owns the asset also becomes eligible to get the income, the interest in this case. During the interest transaction, who was the owner of debentures? Before and after the transaction, who was the owner? Before interest payment and after payment to buy also, owner of debenture is? The person who owns the asset is the person who is the owner of the income. Only on paper you have tried to show that the income is received by, but section 60 says this income will be clubbed. Clubbed. Clubbed means going in someone else's bank account, but I will pay tax. This income will be clubbed. Means, can I say, taxable in the hands of the transferor X. This income will be taxable for X, the transferor. Now look at the heading, transfer of income without transfer of asset. Have we retained the ownership of asset? But we have only transferred the कुछ भी मतलब सुन, you have some money in your pocket, कितना 100 जितना रख ले, keep it, keep. अच्छा सुन, listen, ये 100 rupees you have in your pocket ना, वो निशांत को दे दे. निशांत ना, राइट नाम है ना? हाँ, क्योंकि गैप था ना, तो आई विल जस्ट वेरीफाई. हाँ, गिव इट टू निशांत. Because I am saying, can A tell B, anyone tell any other person to give your income to him? No. That legally I am forcing you to do it. Am I allowed to legally force you to give money to him? No. Lekin suno, if you have my money, can I tell you that? Yes. Then can I? Suno, this 12,000 has already become X ka money. That is why X has the right to say this, that please pay Y. He has legally acquired ownership because of his investment in debentures. That is why he can tell the company that please pay Y. You can, the company is having crores of rupees ka debentures issued, तो उस पे crores of rupees का interest must be payable. तो can X go and tell the company for all the debentures किसको पे करने का? नहीं, X can tell the company only with respect to those debentures which he owns. That means X is only the owner of income. He has only tried to show it as income of Y. And reason I already told you, logic is clear. If logic is clear, you will understand. So though the income will be earned, received in the bank account of, but it will be taxable for. That is the first provision of clubbing. So with the first provision, is this becoming more perfect? When I wrote this initially, it was a little surprising. I am being made to pay tax on someone else's income. Neighbor's wife, love and affection. You went in the wrong direction. Now is this clear that you are not being made to pay? It is your income only. You are only showing is another person's income. समझा क्या? So now with the first section, things will become a little clear. X will be doing his computation of income. Y will be doing his computation. His or her, whoever it is. His computation. X will have salary, house property, business capital and other sources. Y will also have salary, house property, business capital and other sources. After you compute everything, you have to add this 12,000 rupees in taxable income in NTTI of X. Ignoring the bank account of Y, add in the NTTI of X. Understood? So for tax purposes, it will be treated as X ka income. Now in your house, who wants to keep it? That is your choice. घर में supposingly Y is spouse. सुनो, तो everything X must be earning, going and surrendering at her feet. That is your family call. This 12,000 for tax purposes will be added in taxable income, matlab NTTI of X. Is that clear? चलिए. 1 lakh मिलेगा means
सैलरी 1 लाख है, उसको ट्रांसफर इन द नेम ऑफ वाई,
हाँ
तो फिर पूरा 1 लाख ही वाई के अकाउंट में आएगा.
हाँ, तो व्हाट्स योर क्वेश्चन? दैट तो यू डिसाइड नो कि हाउ मच यू वांट टू सी. यू आर नॉट स्टिल अंडरस्टैंडिंग. आई वांट टू गिव 1 lakh टू वाई, के 2 lakh टू वाई, के 5 lakh टू वाई, के 1 rupee टू वाई. हाउ मच टू गिव इज योर चॉइस. टैक्स यू ओनली हैव टू. समझा क्या? ओके, चलिए नेक्स्ट.
For this, X will also keep some money aside to pay the tax. अपने अगर डिवीजन करना है उसको,
go ahead.
he will keep.
He should keep. नहीं रखा, then also we will recover something from you. If you don't have cash, so they will send a recovery officer and take your assets. Ideally, you should keep. If you don't keep, we will still recover from you. समझा? Revocable transfer of asset. We live in a country called India. In India, people don't want to learn what is the law. People don't want to learn what is the law. People want to learn, sir, इसमें मैं ऐसा करेगा तो I'll escape, no? People want to first learn how to manipulate. People want to identify loopholes. Well then, there was a loophole in this. 60. Because of this loophole, 61 was created. Are we ready to learn what was that loophole? Chalo, let's understand with the example. X owns. Now is it okay if I write same debentures? Matlab 12% debentures of 1 lakh of A Limited. The interest therefore that will 12,000. Last time what was X doing? Keeping the debentures with him and giving only interest. Transfer of income without. Matlab he continues to hold the asset. Then only 60 can attract, no? 60 will come when asset is with me, income is with Y. Asset with X, income with Y. X bola hashtag ठग. X has ended up transferring bloody hell of the interest. Nahi, if only interest was given to 60 applies. But if I end up giving the debentures only, read the heading of section 60. 60 cannot apply only. Because for 60 to apply, asset cannot be transferred. The moment asset is transferred. First question, is asset transferred? Yes. The moment asset is transferred, 60 is not applicable. 60 is not applicable. But he has still managed to do manipulation. I'll show you why. I'll tell you how. This transfer that has happened is a revocable transfer. Means me X, you Y. Me X, you Y. Hi Y. Last time I was giving you the income and keeping the debentures. So 60. But the moment I give you, ye le debenture. The moment I give you the 60 is not applicable. So why take these debentures? 60 escaped. But sunna why? Whenever I want, I will take it back. Whenever I want, I will take it back. Me X, you Y. Take these debentures. Escape 60. If I tell you that give it back, you have to give it back. If I tell you to give it to him, her, him, you have to give it. If the income is coming from these debentures, income will come, no interest. If I tell you to keep, you keep. If I tell you to give him, you give him. Accounts mein there is a concept called substance over form. Have you heard of it? No. Something which looks something else, but in reality is something else, is called substance over form. Anybody has heard the name of Bollywood director Karan Johar? Oh my God. Karan Johar? Huh? Substance over form. Looks something else, reality is something else. Keep it ekdam practical. Anyone can understand. It looks that we have given him ownership. Yes, legal ownership we have transferred. But X continues to exercise. decision making power here. मतलब Dr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia ji baba. That is what is happening here. Only looks like the Prime Minister, yeah, real Prime Minister. Decides what will happen with the debentures and decides what will happen with the interest. Only on paper we have done the namkaran of Y. Who continues to exercise control? X. So though the debenture interest will be received in his name, because he has legally become the owner of the debentures, but for tax purposes, once again, the interest will be clubbed. Clubbed means taxable in the hands of X. If you transfer only income, so 60 will apply. If you transfer the asset, so 60 will not apply. Only if you continue to exercise the control, so 61 will apply. Only if you continue to exercise control, so 61 will apply. Samjha? Matlab, first of all, if asset is transferred, we escape 60. That is to be clear. Now, asset is transferred and you continue to exercise control, so 61 will apply. We call that transfer what? Revocable. This word revocable must have come in your contract act also, no?
Yes, sir.
हाँ तो वही मतलब I can cancel it wherever I want. That is the meaning of revocable, no? ठीक है. सुनो. This is why in real life, whenever we do any sale purchase of any asset, supposingly I sell gold to you, या you sell property to him, या you sell shares to her. So in the contract that we do, we write that the seller agrees to waive all rights on this asset forever and will never claim, seller or his legal heads will never claim any right in the asset ever in future, to prove that it was an irrevocable transfer. If in that contract we write that X is selling the debentures to Y, but X can reacquire at a future date, X can instruct Y whom to pay, etc. That means X is continuing to exercise control and it's a revocable transfer, clubbing will apply. But if it is irrevocable transfer, clubbing will not apply. Is that clear? And practical life, whenever we do any sale transaction, we always do irrevocable transfer. If you are free in life, which I am not assuming, because you cannot assume reality. If reality cannot be assumed, so if you are free in life, which is a reality, so go home and see your home ka papers. Go home and tell parents, घर का paper दिखाओ ना. Parents will be like, yeah, which subject you were taught in class today? अरे रुको जरा, सबर करो. Tell this to your parents and tell them that I just want to see what were the clauses in the contract when you purchased the property. Not that चुपके से आपका sign forge करके जैसा स्कूल में remark में करता. No. I am ultimately see anybody who is the younger one in your house. Younger one, all are elder ones only. हाँ, तो क्या है? Once you are the elder one, no, so parents by default trust you. But if you are the younger one, they might hesitate to give you the copy because they know younger ones. Okay, Indian households ka reality is trust on the elder one, love for the younger one. Indian households ka reality. Trust on the elder one, love for the younger one. It is a reality. Okay, so let's not get into that. I'll get emotional. Point ye hai that you go and read your house ka contract. In that it is written from whomever you purchase, from whomsoever you purchase, that person will never get to say anything with respect to this house. And that is why he is transferring forever. So that is which transfer? Irrevocable. Now today if the property is generating rent, dekho debenture was an example, it can be property also. Now today if that property is generating any rent, will you club in the hands of your old owner? No, that's your income only, no? Because it was which transfer? Irrevocable. Clubbing can apply only if the transfer is, very important word here, clubbing can apply only if the transfer is revocable. And effectively now if we learn section 60 and 61 together, if only income is given, so section 60 mein clubbing. If asset is given but you can take it back, so revocable 61. So together now you will have to conclude with me. Therefore, when will clubbing not apply? You will have to give the answer. Then only I will go ahead. Irrevocable transfer. Only income, nahi asset. Full bolenge. You said it full. I heard. Irrevocable transfer of asset. Only then there will be no clubbing. No clubbing. Matlab, if we do only income, there is clubbing. If we do asset but we take it back, there is clubbing. So to escape clubbing, what do we need to do? Irrevocable transfer of asset. So supposingly, I am X. I have 1 lakh ka debentures, which will generate 12,000 ka interest. No problem. If I give someone only the interest, clubbing will apply. If I give someone debentures with a right to take it back, clubbing will apply. So the only time when clubbing will not apply, words mein you said irrevocable transfer of asset. Example mein, if I give the debentures to Y and I say Y, rakh, I will never ask for any. Means debenture also transferred without any right. So 60, 61 both escaped. Clubbing se bach gaya. Some are like, wow, X escaped clubbing, wow. But pagal, think about it. What is the value? Think about it practically. What is the value of your debentures? 1 lakh. What interest you are earning from that? 12,000. If at all that 12,000 was taxable for yourself, highest income tax rate 30%? 3,600. There are some additions in income tax liability in the form of surcharge, cess. Whenever we will learn, I'll teach you about that. Net total, assume, with all inclusions, round figure 4,000. To save 4,000 ka tax, supposingly you pay tax on 12 highest possible taxes. To save 4,000 ka tax, you give your 1 lakh ka debentures to someone else forever. मतलब तू 4,000 का टैक्स बचाने के लिए अपने 1 लाख के डिबेंचर जिंदगी भर के लिए किसी को दे देगा? नहीं. इस पे मेरा रील देखा है? नहीं. ये दिस इज द क्रिएटिविटी ऑफ वन ऑफ माई स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम अहमदाबाद. अरे एकदम ड्रामा के साथ में सेट. तू 4,000 का टैक्स बचाने के लिए अपने 1 लाख के डिबेंचर जिंदगी भर के लिए किसी को दे देगा? कभी नहीं मांगूंगा वापस. दैट इज इरिवोकेबल. नो. तो ही केप्ट दिस एंड उसमें ही जॉइंट अनदर वीडियो. देयर वाज मूवी रणबीर कपूर का अजब प्रेम की गजब कहानी. उसमें इस फादर टेल्स हिम, तू 4 दिन के प्यार के लिए अपनी जान पे खेल रहा है. अरे तू तो मेरा खून है रे, क्या मैं तेरे लिए इतना नहीं है? समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो ही केप्ट दैट सीन एंड एडेड माई वॉइस इन दैट. पूरा क्या, मैं बोला कितना टैलेंट है, इतना यू डू इन योर एग्जाम नो, तो यू विल गेट ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 डे. टैलेंटेड है, मस्त है वो. ओके. तो डू यू रियलाइज that you don't randomly end up giving your asset to someone just to save tax? If you were able to exercise control, तो you can give, but control तो फिर revocable, no? Then clubbing will apply. Correct? तो outsider को तो I will not give my asset. लगा brain, लगा. How to escape 60 and 61? Irrevocable transfer of asset. But you should not lose your asset forever. तो idea लगा idea लगा. I know you'll get it. Think about. स्पाउस को दो ना. नाउ थिंक अबाउट इट. लग गया ना आइडिया? होगा ना, ऑफ कोर्स. बट आई फर्स्ट वांटेड टू सी वेदर यू गेट द आइडिया ऑन योर ओन और नो. गिव योर 1 लाख का डिबेंचर्स टू योर वाइफ इन एन इररिवोकेबल ट्रांसफर. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, हैव यू गिवन इनकम और एसेट? तो 60 नॉट एप्लीकेबल. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन, रिवोकेबल और इररिवोकेबल? तो 61 नॉट एप्लीकेबल. And third, is the debenture still in your house only? क्योंकि this time Y is nothing but Mrs. X. समझा? So that situation also will be taken care of very soon. Don't worry about it. That situation will also attract clubbing provisions. Are we clear on this? Okay. But as of now, these 2 cases, Y is basically an outsider. Okay. But if it is spouse, that means the income is in your family only. Spouse के लिए there is another section separately given. Your Y can be any random transferee if the condition is complied. So section 60 and 61 का clubbing respectively is going to be applicable. Is that clear? चलिए. Next section 64 subsection 1 clause 2. This is how we pronounce the section numbers. If you write it like this. You can also say 6412. Later I will be doing 6414, 6416, 6417. This is called section number. This is a subsection. And this is called clause. So section 64, subsection 1, clause 2. Or, if you go and read the Income Tax Act directly, no, there they write clause 2 of subsection 1 of. That is how they write in the law. Lamba passive voice, complicated. Okay? Chill karo. 6412. Itna to final ka students also don't take so much load. 6412. Thug life. When this comes in exam, as per section 64 likhana. Subsection 1 is a part of 64 only. You are still right. But if you write 64, that is not right. Okay? Not writing section number is okay. Like ekdam hi okay nahi ke you don't learn only. But writing wrong is to not at all acceptable. So 6412. Remuneration to spouse. Matlab here the transferee cannot be any random person. It can be only your spouse. This section is specifically only for spouse. But firstly, this is only and only and only remuneration. Matlab any other income. Example, interest is not covered in this section. Which is the only income covered? Remuneration. Sir, what do you mean by the word remuneration? When you pay someone for doing work, salary is remuneration. But professional fees is also remuneration, though their head of income is different. Salary ka head and professional fees ka income is different head. Salary will go in salary, professional income will go in PGBP. But in both cases, are you giving the person who has done some work? So that is called remuneration. When you pay someone for working, it is remuneration. Do you understand? Interest is not for your working, for your money ka working. So interest is not covered. Which is the only income covered? Remuneration. And who is getting the remuneration? Understand karenge with the help of an example. X is having substantial interest in a business. First question. Sir, what do you mean by having substantial interest? Whenever you are holding 20% or more with your relatives. In any business, whenever you are holding 20% or more of the voting power. 20% or more kya? Voting power. That means you have substantial interest in the business. You have a good say in the business. For example, if this business is proprietorship, that means you can say X is the proprietor. If it's a firm, that means X has got profit sharing ratio of 20 or more. If it's a company, guess karo what X has. Shares nahi, equity shares 20 or more. Because voting power comes only in equity, not interest. You understand? With this ownership percentage, can I say X will be in a position to exercise some control? I will not say that he will be controlling everything, but little control for sure. With massive ownership, this business has to pay some amount to X. But he is already falling in 30% bracket. So everything that we pay X will be taxable at idea. Find out a way in which the money comes in X ka house only, but at a lower rate. This business is paying remuneration to Mrs. X. And only remuneration, let's be clear, interest is not covered here. Matlab this business is paying salary, commission, professional fees, anything to Mrs. X. Read the heading. Are you able to understand? Remuneration paid to spouse. From where? From a business. What is special about the business? That the spouse has substantial interest. One thing I would like to further clarify. I have written spouse. I have not written wife. Iska impact you understand please. X has substantial interest. and remuneration is paid to Mrs. X, is section getting triggered? Remuneration, interest nahi. Mrs. X has got substantial interest and X is getting remuneration. Section will still get triggered. Because if I write wife, then only this is possible. But if I write spouse, so here it can be X or Mrs. X and receiver can be, if the owner is X, so receiver is Mrs. X, and if the owner is Mrs. X, the owner will be. Do you understand this? Because I have written spouse. So two things we wanted to clear at the beginning itself. One, this section is applicable only in cases of remuneration. Two, the receiver has to be spouse of the person with substantial interest. The receiver has to be spouse of the person with a substantial interest, which can be husband or wife. Because we are not writing wife in the heading, we are writing spouse. What was the idea here? That if this income is paid to X, it will go in higher bracket. So we have to send the income in X ka house. For this section, Mrs. X becomes our wife. But in these sections, there was no definition of transferee. Only transaction was defined. But here, transferee has to be specifically spouse. And now comes the most important condition to trigger this section. That Mrs. X does not have the adequate qualification that she can command or we should pay her this remuneration. Supposingly she was adequately qualified to receive this and you pay her, so no problem. Then we can't force you. Matlab, you mean to say, are you creating a section where you are saying that husband ke business se wife cannot get salary or professional fees, remuneration is covered. We can't make a section like that. If she deserves, she will get. If she deserves, she will get. But to trigger clubbing comes the most important condition. She does not deserve. What do I mean by this? She does not deserve. And if she does not deserve because she is inadequately qualified, then why are you paying? Guess karo. Guess karo. Why are you paying? Income will go in his house, but in a lower tax bracket. So this remuneration, Mitra, will be received by, but will be clubbed in the hands of. Clubbed means taxable in the income of, but with a catch. Only the excess that is paid. Sir, ये क्या होता है? I'll explain. Supposingly, X के business से Mrs. X is getting 5 lakh का salary. First be clear. Is it remuneration के interest? 5 lakh का salary I said. Remuneration के interest. Clear है? Remuneration. Second, is the receiver spouse? Section will get triggered only if the receiver is. So is the section का heading being complied? Now go and check, does Mrs. X deserve that salary? 5 lakh rupees. So no clubbing. Because the most important condition of this section of clubbing is inadequate. Inadequate हुआ, then clubbing will apply. But in my example, Mrs. X possesses the necessary qualification to get this salary. So no clubbing. Supposingly she does not possess the necessary qualification. That means this is being paid only for tax manipulation. So who will pay tax on 5 lakh? Can I say that is clubbing? But sir, ये excess word क्या? सुनो. Mrs. X possesses some qualification which merits salary of 3 lakh. In other words, in place of Mrs. X, it was some random person, unrelated person. So the maximum we would have paid from the business is 3 lakhs. The market value of this service is 3 lakh. If you would have paid to any outsider, you would have paid 3 lakh. So under market circumstances, how much is the allowable remuneration? 3 lakh. So if you pay up to 3 lakh, there is no problem, no clubbing. But you have paid, so there will be clubbing. Only on 2 lakhs. Is that understood? Means question will give you 5 lakh paid. That you can't guess. Question will tell you how much she deserves. That also you can't guess. Your task is very easy as a student. 5 paid, she deserves 3. So 2 clubbed. 5 paid, she does not deserve anything. Full clubbed. 5 paid, she fully deserves it. Anybody we would have appointed in her place, we would have paid. So ho gaya, bas, that's the rule. But 3 conditions, total 3 conditions. Only remuneration, interest is not covered. Second, only if it is spouse, which can be husband or wife, but spouse. Brother, sister, parents, not covered. Third, only if there is no qualification or inadequate qualification, so excess will get clubbed. If there is adequate qualification, no clubbing. Once these 3 things are checked by you, for your exam part, it's very easy. Difficulty is implementation of this section in real life. Think about it. Think about it. How much does she deserve? How to decide? So no, it does not depend on educational qualification. What did you understand by the term qualification? देखो exam के लिए it is very easy. If my target is only to prepare you for exam, no, how much is paid will be given, how much she deserves will be given. If there is anything extra to apply, clubbing on that extra wala part. Exam part is over. But I am not here to only take you to exam. Anyway, some are more interested in, sir, ऐसा हुआ तो क्या वैसा हुआ. Exam में वैसे भी कम interest and good, I like it. To a certain extent. Till the time it does not disturb the smooth running of the class. To a certain extent, it is very much, in fact, it excites me also. You are interested in knowing something. Just know. In real life, to find out ke 5 lakhs mein se how much she deserves does not depend on her education. It depends on her contribution in this business. What is her contribution in this business? 2 different assessees, A and B. They have their respective spouses, Mrs. A, Mrs. B. In case of Mrs. B, the spouse has never seen the office of her husband except Diwali Puja. Once in a year. Though she is CA, CS, MBA, MCom, LLB, ICAI, all degrees. मतलब फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड से ही प्रोफेशनल कोर्स पढ़ाई चालू कर CA, CS, ICAI, MBA, MCom, LLB. But she does not deserve a single rupee of remuneration because there is no contribution to the business. She does not deserve a single rupee. Every rupee will be clubbed. You understand? On the other hand, Mrs. A is 12th pass. But Mr. A is generally traveling for work purposes. She handles the whole office. In fact, Mr. A does not even know how many customers, how many suppliers, whether suppliers are paid on time, customers are paying on time, whether any government dues, whether any employee dues, electricity, everything she is handling. Ideally, to aisa hona chahiye, she should give the profits and pay him salary. Only for name's sake, he is the proprietor. Seriously, I am telling you, the fact like this, a thing like this has happened with me. ठीक है. Coincidentally, my wife is also a chartered accountant, company secretary. But Charni Road के अंदर, in my class, for 5 years, how many admissions have taken place? I had no idea. Seriously, no. Because admission pamphlet पे her number was written. तो मेरे class में always this system was कि first 5 students will get a free concession. 10, 15, 20% based on whatever I want to give. Okay. Student used to call me. Past students used to directly give my number. Well, sir, I want to join the upcoming batch. My last so and so person gave me your number. मैं बोला ठीक है. बोला फीस क्या? बोला first 5 students 25,000. After that 30,000. तो सर 5 हो गया क्या? That I don't know. It creates an environment of absence of trust on the teacher. But in reality, I don't know. Because I have no idea. Everyone inquired. I don't even know that today morning से afternoon तक 5 people must have paid. I don't know. So then I used to tell whoever is the student that call on this number. They will explain everything to me. कोई वो arrogant लगता था कि sir you can't tell your fees also. अगर मैं fees बोलूँ and then I say that I don't know how many admissions, so it creates a wrong image. So I used to say देखो this is how we will do the batch etc. बाकी fees क्या है, form क्या भरना है, how you'll get your ID card, वो सब call on this number. Multiple professors were working. Whether they are starting their batch on time, completing their batch on time, their study material has come or no, which has to be allotted to the students. Batch completion pay immediately faculty had to be paid. लास्ट लेक्चर में फैकल्टी शुड नॉट लीव द क्लास बिफोर द चेक, और लास्ट लेक्चर में फैकल्टी हैज एंटर द क्लासरूम, तो मनी शुड एंटर द बैंक अकाउंट ऑफ द असेस, मतलब फैकल्टी. ठीक है, इंस्ट्रक्शन वॉज माइन, बट एवरीथिंग वॉज डन बाय हर, because I am to always traveling. 4 months in a year I have been traveling. Now after my son was born and she cannot give focus, she cannot absolutely 5-7 years, so it is not possible to focus on office. That is why I changed the system. I said I'll stay majorly in Mumbai. I stopped my outstation work. I had to bring about drastic changes in my way of working, only because I know that for some years she will not be, and if she is not available, I am handicapped, I cannot do anything. So she rightfully deserves the full profit. She should pay me only for the batch that I take, because other than my direct tax there is no involvement. My admin contribution is a big zero. How do you decide? She is CA. What if she was 12th pass? Whether CA or 12th pass, the deserving amount will be same, because we have to check the contribution, not the education. Education does not decide contribution to the business. Do you understand? So as a consequence, this is a very, very difficult thing to decide in real life. You will have to fight case with your assessing officer. You will say no, this much allowed. You will say no, that much allowed. And for this, in income tax, there is a hierarchy to fight. Fight matlab you don't physically fight with your assessing officer. You fight a case against him. And for this, income tax gives us 4 levels. We call them appeals. You go to a person called Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals. Sir, your assessing officer is harassing me. CIT mein, whoever loses goes to the next level. That is called ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, a special court for income tax matters. If you lose the case in ITAT, whoever loses can go to a level called High Court. Whoever loses in High Court can go to a level called Supreme Court. Whoever loses in Supreme Court, go home, go to sleep. Supreme Court is like your wife. You cannot appeal against the order. 4 levels you will get to fight a legal case. You say, sir, 5 lakh is deserving. He will say 4 lakh is deserving. These matters can go only till ITAT. Because how much is deserving? We call it a question of fact. What she deserves, what she does not deserve based on her contribution. ये fact basis के ऊपर. Investigation will be done. How many hours she used to come, etc., etc., etc. Fact. There are 2 more levels called High Court, Supreme Court, but those levels you are allowed to go only if there is something called a question of law. Sir, वो क्या होता है? When the law is silent at a particular place, that your interpretation and my interpretation both appears correct because nothing is written in the section. And our income tax law at thousands of places does not have any provision only. If there is no provision, so what you say is also right, I say is also right. Act is not saying yes also and no also. Both are right. Whenever the law is silent, it becomes question of law. Only those matters can go to High Court, Supreme Court. But whether deserving amount, how much deserving amount, that is not question of law. That is question of fact. And that can be fought only till tribunal level. Well, you are going to be least interested in what are the 4 levels or what is question of law or what is question of fact. This CA students in final are taught after 60-65% of their syllabus. Even you ask someone in CA final initial lectures, they will also not know unless they have learnt it during their articleship period in office. Okay? Because it is not a part of your syllabus only. No? So, with due respect to all the teachers, everyone is very good. No one is bad. Everyone is very good. With due respect, it's not a part of syllabus, so why will they teach you? I want you to have a complete view of this, that how much is deserving. Exam mein it is very easy. Real life mein there will be a fight between assessee and assessing officer. How much she deserves. And this fight can go to tribunal. Finally, there will be an amount decided. Now, whether it is given in the question or a tribunal decided. 5 lakh is paid. You will finally answer how much clubbing. 5 lakh is paid, she fully deserves it. 5 lakh is paid, she does not deserve. No contribution. Education, no contribution. 5 lakh. 5 lakh is paid, but her contribution to business merits only 3 lakh. If it was an outsider, we would have paid only 3 lakh. Bas. That's your question solving in intermediate. Is that clear? Chaliye. So 6412, 3 conditions finally. Only remuneration, only spouse, and inadequate qualification. Once these 3 conditions are fulfilled, excess will be club. 6412. Clear hai? Chaliye. Next section. section 64(1)(4). This is a very big section, biggest section of the chapter. देखो, observe the sections till now. In one frame of my tab, full section over. In one frame of my tab, almost 2 sections over. थोड़ा सा zoom out करूँ तो हो गया 2 sections. In one frame itself, 2 are over. Come on. One frame में full over. This is of the size of 4 sections. That means, can I say it's big? But if you study this, so 64(1)(6), 64(1)(7), 64(1)(8, all 3 over. Study 1, cover 4. Conceptually, this will cover all the other 3 as well. So, can I say 1 will help you to learn 4? So, that is why 4 के size का 1 section, little big section. This time, there is an asset which is transferred to spouse. And discussion about this we already had when we completed 60 and 61. Now, do you remember that this transfer has to be? There is still tax evasion. There is still tax evasion. Sir, how? The asset is in your house. The income is coming in your house. But in the name of your spouse. Again, spouse is used. So, it can be husband or wife. But you are not covered in section 60. Bolo kyun? Asset is transferred. You are not covered in 61. Irrevocable. But still look at the transfer. You will still successfully do manipulation out here. Usko I already at that time only told you. Usko stop karne ke liye we have another provision. This provision will be triggered if condition 1. This asset was transferred for inadequate consideration. This will appear familiar. And matlab cumulative. Both. And there is no agreement to live apart. In other words, they are. Why does it appear to be familiar? Deemed owner of income from house property. Wow, shabash. So first of all, this asset will be excluding house property. You know why? Because if in house property you do this, anyways you are only the deemed owner. Which is again an indirect way of clubbing only. No? If X is transferring house property to Mrs. X. And these 2 conditions. Same 2 conditions, inadequate consideration, no agreement to live apart. If these 2 conditions are fulfilled, so X only will be treated as deemed owner. So rent will be taxed in the hands of X. And here it is other assets. Other assets matlab debentures, shares, anything like that. So income will be received by spouse but taxable for you. House property mein deemed owner ka concept has already taken care of it. Isliye we are excluding house property, but other assets will get covered here in clubbing provision. House property ka chapter cannot cover all assets. Isliye we are covering other assets here. What are the 2 conditions? Understand with the help of an example. X owns, can I say same debentures? 12% debentures of A Limited, rupees 1 lakh. What is the income arising from this? Interest. And these debentures are transferred. What is transferred? Debenture. But by way of an irrevocable transfer. Irrevocable transfer में you don't end up giving it to outsiders. 4,000 का टैक्स बचाने के लिए full 1 lakh नहीं ना? Whom do you give it to? Spouse. Now, first thing, this is X, so this is Mrs. X. Can this be Mrs. X? So फिर this will be. क्योंकि we are saying spouse, not wife. हाँ, ज़्यादा likelihood is of this only. Okay, but then today in the 21st century there is no such bias. It can be any way. Okay, there was a television actress Shweta Tiwari. Was नहीं मतलब she is still alive only. She got married किसको? हाँ, अभी she used to earn, husband was never earning. So it can be the other way around also. Just an example, it can be the other way around also. I think her daughter has also become an actress and dancer. पलक तिवारी, विच इज दैट सॉन्ग, वो बहुत पॉपुलर, बिजली 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 करके कोई रिसेंटली पॉपुलर सॉन्ग. तुम लोगों को कुछ आइडिया नहीं ना, कुछ नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं ना. व्हाट डू यू लिसन टू? कोरा कागज था ये मन मेरा. नहीं, छोड़. पॉइंट पॉइंट पॉइंट. X is the owner of debentures and the debentures are transferred to Mrs. X, or Mrs. X is the owner and transferred to Mr. X, because the section says spouse, not wife. These debentures are transferred by way of irrevocable transfer. So 60 not applicable because asset is transferred. 61 not applicable because it is irrevocable. Have we escaped both those provisions and are still doing manipulation? Why? Because debentures are in X ka house only. In his house only interest is coming, but in the name of received by her, but it will be clubbed. Clubbed matlab taxable in the hands of X. When will this happen? If these two conditions are complied. Inadequate consideration and no agreement to live apart. What is the logic behind these two conditions? Supposingly, X is giving these debentures to Mrs. X, and badle mein he is taking the proper market price. I have explained the logic in the same two conditions in house property deemed. If you are taking market price, then you are allowed to sell it to anyone. First thing. Secondly, if you will take the market price, तो sale of debentures का जो profit है under capital gains, you will offer that to tax. If you are ready to pay tax on capital gains, when you sell it to spouse or neighbor's wife, then we will not apply clubbing. For clubbing to apply, it has to be inadequate consideration. The moment it is inadequate consideration, can I say that means X is not showing proper capital gains and not paying proper tax? Correct? And they are still living together in the same house. If they are living together, then only debenture will come in that house. No? Supposingly X is giving these debentures to his wife free. Free, matlab condition 1 fulfilled. For separating with her. That means they will live separately now. Like an alimony, this is being given. They are now going to live in different houses. So first thing, the debenture interest will not come in the same house as X. Why? They are living only separately. Second, this means that this debenture was given to wife, not for tax evasion, but for peace of mind. Bolo? Then clubbing will not apply. So for clubbing to apply, 1, inadequate consideration. 2, same house, matlab living together, matlab no agreement to live apart. Only when these two conditions, both of them are fulfilled, then only this section will be applicable. Are you understanding? Yes. Matlab if there is adequate consideration and X has paid tax on capital gains, then even if they are living together, no clubbing. If they have separated, then even if there is inadequate consideration, no clubbing. Only when both happen, we will apply clubbing. So whenever there is asset other than house property, because house property is already covered in deemed owner, same two conditions are there. Whenever there is an asset other than house property transferred to whom? Matlab husband to wife is covered, wife to husband is also covered, and two conditions are fulfilled. They are inadequate consideration, no agreement to live apart. Then in that case, clubbing provisions will become applicable. बराबर है? चलो. But you still have to pay that capital gain one time tax. One time ka tax you will have to pay. Okay? If that you are ready to pay, then you do anything. No, then there is no problem. Understood? Look at the other conditions now of section 64. 1(4). And 4 ka benefit is, once 4 is studied, 6, 7, 8 will get automatically completed with this only. Okay? First, this section can apply only to individual. HUF cannot have spouse. Hello? Only. Very easy. Chalo. Second, the relation, which is the relation which is triggering the section? Matlab husband-wife relation, spouse. It can be husband to wife or wife to husband. This relation should exist on 2 occasions for clubbing to get attracted. The clubbing provisions of this section will get attracted only if the husband and wife ka relation is in existence at the time of transfer. Matlab when X transferred, at that time it was his wife. Then only clubbing will apply. If you transfer to neighbor's wife, so at the time of transfer, is it transferred to your own wife? No. Even if later she becomes your wife. At the time of transfer, there was no relation of husband-wife. No clubbing. Would you like to guess the second event? Second occasion? At the time of. That means you are understanding what is happening. When the income is being paid, debenture interest in our example hai. It could have been shares of A Limited, so dividend hota. When the income is being paid, at that time also you should be husband-wife. Okay. So you should be husband-wife at the time of transfer of asset and at the time of generation of income. Then only clubbing will apply. Otherwise, clubbing will not apply. Matlab, supposingly, you transfer your asset to, I'll tell you the easy wala case first. Transfer asset to wife. That means at that time, she is wife. Inadequate consideration, no agreement to live apart. If that is not complied, we will not go ahead only. That is complied. But now, after few years, you separate. That means, at the time of income, there is no relation. For the years where you were living together, clubbing will apply. Once you separate, clubbing will not apply. Because for clubbing to apply, you should be husband-wife on both occasions. So understood, first there was relation, then cancel. Supposingly, you transfer asset to Rosie. Who is Rosie? Secretary. You transfer asset to Rosie, who is secretary. Because of this asset, she becomes Mrs. Bhatia in the greed of more assets. Now, she becomes Mrs. Bhatia. So, when the income is given, at that time you were husband-wife. Correct hai ki nahi? Will clubbing apply? No! Because when it was transferred, she was not your wife. The relation should be on both occasions, no? At the time of transfer and at the time of income. So, nahi to fir pehle wale mein why there was no clubbing? When you transfer to wife but later you separate, so we said no clubbing, no? Because for clubbing to apply, you should be husband-wife on both occasions. Which two occasions? Transfer and income. So, you transfer to wife but later separate, so no clubbing. That was easy case. Now, we are going to the complicated case. I will give you some tax manipulation strategies also. For that, do you understand? When it was transferred, she was Rosie. Later, she became Rosie Bhatia. But earlier, she was only Rosie. Later, even if she is Mrs. Bhatia, do you understand? At the time of transfer, there was no relation. Therefore, there will be no clubbing. Is that understood? Idea hai fir. Lifetime clubbing se it will save you. You want idea? तो क्या ले दे के every lecture you talk about divorce only. Every lecture में once he is asking us, sir, divorce होएगा तो क्या होएगा? Divorce होएगा तो क्या होएगा? I think I should make a video of tax liability in the occasion of divorce. नहीं. सुनो, idea दे रहा हूं. Lifetime it will save you from divorce. तो will save you from headache also. But I am only to talk about saving you from clubbing. सुनो, when you get engaged, देखो यार, Rosie will become Bhatia or not? वो question mark है. But once you get engaged, during your engagement period, transfer your asset to. She is not wife. Fiance? Transfer. Now, there is no relation at the time of transfer. It is not wife as of now. Okay. Once transfer happens during the courtship period, the engagement period, even if she becomes wife later, clubbing will never apply forever. Because for clubbing to apply, you should have the relation on both occasions. Hello. Correct hai? But this will come. देखो आप समझ तो गए कि basically what is my tax advice to you? Transfer asset during your engagement period. That we understood. Sir, but it will come with two risks. Let me explain. And I have solution also. Risk number one. When you transfer any asset to your wife, It falls in the definition of gift received from relative. And under income from other sources, there will be no tax. Because husband, wife fall in the definition of relative. We'll do IFOS. I told you, we are skipping some chapters in between. IFOS mein, husband, wife is in relative ka definition. So no taxability. But fiancé does not fall in the definition of relative. So gift received from fiancé is taxable. That's one risk. Means it will trigger tax, no? On the receiver of gift. Second risk. Which you guessed. Bolo. That engagement may not ultimately convert into a marriage. I'll give you one solution to both problems. Baad mein gaya L'Oreal, 5 problems, 1 solution. We have only 2 problems. I will solve with 1 solution. When's your wedding day comes? Okay. Wedding day comes, Pandit ji has started the wedding fire. Fire lit ho gaya. ठीक है. हाँ, of course, if it is Hindu marriage or Jain marriage, तो पंडित जी. If it is Islam marriage, तो Maulavi will come, but he will also ask, no, कबूल है. हाँ, उसमें 2 कबूल के बाद रुकने का बराबर. But fire lit है. Example है Hindu marriage. Fire lit है. Okay. अरे खाली बोलने के लिए I don't know why Bollywood movies से 7 फेरा. I wonder why. Because I have seen so many marriages. मतलब मेरा only one, but other people का lot of marriages, and I have personally done it, so I can tell you there are only 4 फेरास. 4 ही होता है. I know stupidity. Why do Bollywood movies say 7 circles? 4 ही होता है. तो 1 फेरा done. Second done. Pandit ji, time please. Time please. Pandit ji, wait. Give gift. Whatever asset you wanted to give, debenture वगैरह जो भी देना दे दो. Give it. This is gift on the occasion of marriage. Marriage gift, no, whether relative or non-relative, not taxable. Marriage का gift, whether relative or non-relative, not taxable. So have we sorted that problem? Yes. तो वो IFOS का immunity is granted. Second, now there is no question of running away. Now if after 2 फेरा she run away, that means your story is 3 idiots का story. चालू शादी में से करीना कपूर रहना. Then I can't, but that is exception. Way too much to think. This can be only in Bollywood के after couple of फेरास बोला कि बस अभी करने तो अपना शादी हो जाएगा. शर्मन जोशी says no. बस enough now. We have to stop now. Rancho is waiting for you. But that happens only in Bollywood. ठीक है ना? तो after 2 फेरास, no question of running away. Second problem also solved. And third, you still have lifetime immunity from clubbing. बोलो क्यों? अभी complete नहीं हुआ ना? I told you no. Only after completed, she becomes a spouse. Before completion तो नहीं ना. तो after 2 फेरास or after 2 kabul has, stop the pandit or the Maulavi and say, time please. थोड़ा income tax का थोड़ा सा setting we have to do. Did you understand? I wonder if there will be any wedding ever in the world where, because in my marriage, boy and girl both were CA, but still ऐसा I also did not do at that time. मतलब, you are very shy on that day for God knows what reason, but there are, like, you always keep your head down and full event as if you are doing a crime when you get punished forever. So, in my wedding, Pandit ji was also PhD. He was a PhD scholar. And after every fera, he only was making a stop and explain the meaning of this fera. Okay. So he will speak those sloks, so we will not understand what he is. So he used to wait. First he used to speak his slok in Sanskrit. The meaning of this circle was, Pandit ji in his accent, that the groom is promising the bride, I will stay away from all forms of intoxication. I will not indulge in any kind of intoxication. Is a promise that you have to make. I was just about to say, Pandit ji साथ में करेंगे तो चलेगा क्या? But too modern, no? In a Marwadi wedding, so I avoided. Point is, if I wanted, I could have stopped Pandit ji and said, Pandit ji, ruko. and before completion of marriage transfer your asset. Now later, even if it is spouse, the clubbing provisions will not be applicable. ठीक है? तो I तो could not do the manipulation. आप कर लेना. Which is why taught to you. And that running away वाला part and IFOS का part is also solved. I hope you are clear. Okay? So this clubbing will get triggered only if, come on, relation. पहली बात तो two condition, inadequate consideration, no agreement to live. Only for individual. Only if your relation is existing on two occasions, at the time of transfer and at the time of income. Is this clear? चलिए next. Clubbing provisions will get applicable even on the capital gain part. Confusion नहीं चाहिए. Example. X has gifted what to his wife? Debentures. Debenture का interest is going to be clubbed. But one day is it possible that Mrs. X sells the debentures, and when the asset is sold, the income that will arise is, this will also be clubbed. Matlab clubbing will apply on the recurring revenue income, and clubbing will also apply on the capital gain of the same asset which was gifted by spouse. Clubbing will apply on both. Means clubbing will apply on revenue income as well as mitro capital gains. Example से समझा? Very easy. चल next.
परमानेंट वो ट्रांसफर कर सकता है तो फिर उसमें भी एक्स ओनली भी रखोगे.
परमानेंट ही किया है. रामायण संपली आता म्हणतं राम कोण होता नाही. This is if it is temporary to be, it need not be spouse, then it can be anyone, and 61 will become applicable. Lots and lots of Sale of Goods Act fan. Next point. Everybody with me? Clubbing will be applicable even if form of asset is changed. Clubbing will be applicable even in case of change in form of asset. Very easy. Very easy. X gifted what? Debentures to Mrs. X. First question. From these debentures, if there is interest, will you apply clubbing? Yes. If the debentures are sold, तो capital gain पे भी will you apply clubbing? But debenture sell करके जो money आया, there is money with Mrs. X. That money she invested in fixed deposit. Therefore, still there is going to be interest income, not from debenture but from FD. FD was purchased with debenture ka money, and debenture was gifted by. This interest will also be clubbed. Read the heading, understand the example. Clubbing will apply even if form of asset is. नहीं तो कितना easy manipulation. Give debentures. Tell her to sell and buy shares. Debenture interest will get clubbed. Debenture ka capital gain if sold will get clubbed, and then shares ka dividend will also get clubbed. Clubbing will apply even in case of change in form of. Understood? Absolutely. Once the source involved is spouse, husband or wife, so whether revenue income, capital income, or you change and receive income in any other form, it will still continue to get clubbed. Clear hai? Clubbing will apply even on indirect transfer. Clubbing will apply even on indirect transfer. Very easy. Example 1. X wants to give any asset to Mrs. X free में. Will clubbing apply? Like all throughout the section it is being applied. If you give debentures to your wife, will clubbing apply? तो Mrs. X को idea. Accommodating party. I want to give debentures to my wife, I will suffer clubbing. तो I request यार तू लेके मेरी वाइफ को देके आ जाना. तो I have not transferred asset to spouse. I try to escape. Very easy. This point will not let you escape. अंडरस्टूड इनडायरेक्ट ट्रांसफर? ये इजी वाला एग्जांपल था. देयर इज वन कॉम्प्लिकेटेड एग्जांपल आल्सो. इजी तो बहुत इजी था. डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट ट्रांसफर, इट विल अट्रैक्ट क्लबिंग. इनएडिक्वेट कंसिडरेशन, नो अग्रीमेंट टू लिव अपार्ट. Relation should be on 2 occasions. All other conditions have to be complied, of course. Okay. But second example, X. X has one Mrs. X. There is another person Y. He also has one Mrs. Y. Any gift given by X to Mrs. X or Y to Mrs. Y, will there be clubbing? Yes, of course. If we have any party in between, still there will be clubbing. So we want to escape. So Mr. X and Mr. Y do exactly what Akshay Kumar proposed to Bobby Deol in Bipasha Basu का first movie. What deep है यार. Bipasha Basu first movie, any idea? नहीं. Multi star cast. बहुत बार आती है टीवी पे. अक्षय कुमार, बॉबी देओल, बिपाशा बासु, करीना कपूर. नहीं. There was a movie called अजनबी. तो जितना एक्साइटमेंट में यूज है, अभी 2 क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा ना, ये भी सर वो नहीं पता. हाँ, क्या पता है उसका? ये बढ़िया था गुरु. उसमें बेसिकली अक्षय कुमार एंड बॉबी देओल आर नेबर्स, एंड अक्षय कुमार makes this, basically he is criminal, he is the villain of the movie. He says that we will exchange wives. हाँ, वो मूवी में प्रपोजल रखा था उसने बॉबी देओल के सामने. ओके. एंड देन पता चलता है that अक्षय कुमार actually kills his wife and then does setting with ऐसे करके so that he can get Bobby Deol arrested for the killing वाला part. ऐसा that was his plan. That was his proposal. Some people say कि अच्छा सर ये वो neighbor's wife का inspiration has come from. नहीं. I am not here to kill anyone. I am here to make you understand that if, and Akshay Kumar basically shows the action like this in the full movie. अभी याद आया? तो it's that movie का scene only. It is the scene from the movie. वो meme जो है ना, it's that अजनबी movie का scene. हाँ, वो सिग्नल, वो जो meme है ना, that's अजनबी movie, basically अक्षय कुमार requesting Bobby Deol for exchange of wives. नहीं, यहाँ पे वो सब नहीं होगा. यहाँ पे we are talking about taxation. तो X is giving gift to Mrs. Y and Y is giving same gift to Mrs. X. So whatever income is generated by this asset will be clubbed here, and whatever income is generated by this asset will be clubbed here, simply because it appears that Mrs. X got gift from Y. It's not from Y. You know how it has come? I'll show you. It went from here and it came here indirectly. Likewise, if I talk about Y ka gift went here and it came here indirectly. Did you understand? And therefore, on their respective incomes, there will be clubbing. Okay. Supposingly, sometimes, only jabardasti ka complication karne ke liye institute asks this, that X is gifting 5 lakh and Mrs. X, Y is gifting 6 lakh to Mrs. X. She will earn income on 6 lakh and she will earn income on 5 lakh. What is the common cross transfer? So 5 lakh ka income pe there will be clubbing, and here there will be clubbing only on whatever is the income earned on 6 lakh. Say 10% pe 60,000, but only 50 will be clubbed. Matlab in proportion of the cross transfer there will be clubbing. That's the maximum complication that can be incorporated out here. If the gift is of same amount, both incomes will be fully clubbed. But if it's of different amount, so the lower wala amount, which is the common wala amount, that proportion is going to be clubbed. That is called clubbing on indirect transfer, cross transfer. Means clubbing will apply. You were asking now, sir, everything ke upar clubbing applies. So let me be clear. Clubbing applies on revenue income. Clubbing applies on capital gains. Clubbing applies on change in form of asset. Matlab with that money you buy another asset. And clubbing also applies if there is cross transfer, indirect transfer. Is that understood? Yes. Okay. Next. For a change, this time there will be no clubbing. No clubbing on accretion to asset. means revenue income club, capital gain club, change in form of asset club, and exchange matlab cross transfer, indirect transfer also club. But this is a rare occasion where we will not apply. बराबर है? बराबर है? What is the only thing that I have to explain to you to understand this point 6? What do you mean by? If I explain accretion, you will be sorted. Words में, by virtue of an existing asset, if you get another asset free, that's accretion. Second asset is a result of the first asset. Any addition which was not due to the involvement of the transferor is accretion. I'll give you two examples. One which you guess. X gifts shares to Mrs. X. Shares will generate which income? Assume all conditions are fulfilled. Matlab inadequate consideration, no agreement to live apart. Both occasions pe they were husband wife. Received by Mrs. X, but tax for Mr. X. One day suddenly the company declares bonus. Kya? Bonus shares. Now, do you realize that the bonus shares will also be legally received by her only? Because she is the legal owner of the shares. Yes, bonus shares will also generate dividend. That will be received also by her and taxable also in her hands. Is pe there will be no clubbing. This is called accretion. And my logic is very simple. Were the original shares gifted by the husband? So was manipulation by husband involved in the original shares? Yes. Are the bonus shares gifted by the husband? So, and by the way, some of you all can think, nahi sir, lekin husband ne diya to hi that bonus came, but when they gifted, there was no malified intention, no? And therefore, there is no control, you can say, of the husband. Ultimately, this is a decision of the company whether to give bonus or no, whether to declare dividend or no. Husband does not have any control over that. And that's why they say no clubbing will apply on the accretion. On accretion, there will be no clubbing. Accretion ka meaning understood? Well, this was something that you could have guessed. But then, I want to give you one more example. X gifts cow to Mrs. X. That is also an income generating asset. Prove karo. From this cow, Mrs. X is earning profits and gains of business or profession by sale of milk. Is this income received from an asset, cow, which was gifted by husband? Who is earning this business income? But it will be clubbed for Mr. X. All that we have studied in the section from the start till here. Clubbing will apply. Everybody is with me. Clubbing is going to be applicable on this business. Everybody with me? So no. This clears first that clubbing need not be only on income from other sources, just because all throughout the chapter we are saying debenture. It was an example. Hello? Yes. Clubbing can happen in any head of income. Here it is an example of PG. Cow nahi, PGBP. Cow is not a head of income. PGBP. Is that clear? Coincidence hai, all throughout the chapter we are taking example of interest income, which is IFOS, but it can be PGBP also. One thing. Everyone clear? Second. This will further prove my example of accretion. One day the cow gave birth to a calf. Abhe English, baby cow is called calf. हाँ मतलब कोई ना जिमनेस्ट होता है, वो बोलता है सर ये वाला ना. अब वीडियो में आई कांट लिफ्ट माई लेग एंड शो. इतना अच्छा जिमनेस्ट में है ना. ओके. काफ इन योर बॉडी मीन्स बिलो योर नी, पीछे का पोर्शन, बैक साइड ऑफ योर लेग बिलो योर नी, दैट इज काफ. कोई को पता नहीं है नी के ऊपर का पोर्शन इज कॉल्ड थाइज. but उसके पीछे का पोर्शन इज कॉल्ड हैमस्ट्रिंग. आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी पीपल नो दिस. हाँ, एंड हैमस्ट्रिंग के नीचे का पोर्शन मतलब लेग का बैक साइड बिलो द नी इज कॉल्ड काफ. वो जिम में ऐसा मारता. Listen, this is not that calf. There are a lot of words in English which have two meanings. We don't use double meaning. English language has double meaning. Follow how? Article comes in newspaper also and CA also. हाँ, हो गया ना. Calf means baby cow also. Milk तो baby cow will give also, no? From here also there will be milk PGBP, no? And this milk PGBP. First of all, answer the easy question. Who will receive? Who will pay tax? Why? Because this was accretion. By virtue of existing asset, when the other asset comes without any control of the husband, so accretion. Is that understood? Yes. Supposingly, this original dividend income, please pay attention, or this original business income, the source of dividend or the source of business, original wala, has involvement of husband. So therefore this original dividend income and the original business income was getting clubbed. Now once that is clubbed, matlab the original dividend and the original PGBP is taxed for the husband. The money is with whom? Wife. This money she can make investment anywhere. A bonus is one thing, and investing the original income, she can invest in a bank account. She can give loan to someone, get dividend, interest, anything. That is also accretion. Because husband gives asset, control of husband. Asset generates income. Asset, income. Please pay attention. Asset, income. Asset, income. Asset husband is gifting. Income pe husband ka control comes because asset he is giving. This asset ka income, if this income is capital gains, if this asset ka form is changed, indirect transfer clubbing will apply. So whatever income comes, club. Now this income once clubbed, it is physically with the wife. Further investment of this income will result in more income. That does not have involvement of husband. That is also accretion. So investment of your income which is being clubbed will not be clubbed. Original asset ka capital gains, change in form, that will be clubbed. But original asset ka income ka investment if you are doing, that will not be clubbed because that also falls in the definition of accretion. Is that understood? So only at one level where husband is involved, we will apply clubbing. Second pay, once you go to the income part, you don't apply clubbing. Is that clear? No clubbing on accretion. And the last point out here. If the gift is of money, till now we were discussing about debenture gifted, shares gifted, cow gifted, but can money be gifted? And that money was invested in business of the wife. Example, X gifted 10 lakh, this time rupees, to Mrs. X. And what did she do with this business, or with this money, 10 lakh? Invested in business. Let us go and check her business ka investment. From husband, 10 lakhs. Now my question is, can the business have more investment from her pocket also? Yes. Yes, no? Yes. Take an example khud ka. Own sources ka investment. Say rich father. Talit lakh. Totla tik. What happened? Husband ka 10. Self 40. Total investment in business 50 lakh. Possible? Now this business is going to generate some profit at the end of the year. Example lo, what is the profit for the year? Tum gada hai, if you are taking sir example 5 crore ka profit 50. Investment is 50 lakh rupees. By investing 50 lakh, where you get 5 crore ka profit, you tell me? Haan, theek hai. He is like, cut the crap bro. Bol diya na 10 lakh. 10 lakh. This 10 lakh will be apportioned between X and Mrs. X. Whatever you apportion, here is the amount being clubbed. Think about it. Total profit is this. Total profit will not be clubbed because total investment is not of husband. Supposingly this was not there. तो full clubbing.
Yes.
But then in that case, can I say the clubbing will be in proportion of capital invested in the business? Clubbing will be in proportion of capital. Come on, yes or no? But the most important thing that you have to see is that this capital has to be checked on the first day of the previous year. Matlab, listen, wife starts business on 1st April with 40 lakhs. 10th April ko husband gifted 10 lakhs. Rest of the data is same. No clubbing. Don't do 1 by 5. यहाँ पे we were doing no 1 by 5, 4 by 5, but this won't happen because this was not the amount on first day of the previous. Is that understood? Next year we will take no because it is from the beginning. This year will get over. Now business के investment में husband का money is there. So next year it is there right from the first day. Come on. Next year we will take it. Is that clear? So proportion very important because this will change your answer altogether. Proportion has to be checked on the first day of the previous year. Everybody clear about this? That was your 6414. As I said, it is the biggest section of the chapter. But once this section is done, 4 sections are over with this. So asset transferred to spouse. Main primary 2 conditions: inadequate consideration, no agreement to live apart, matlab living together, and all other conditions. Only individual relationship should be on 2 occasions. What if there is capital gains? There will be clubbing. Change in form of asset? There will be clubbing. If there is indirect or cross transfer, there will be clubbing. Only accretion ke upar there will be no clubbing. And gifted amount invested in business, proportionate clubbing in the proportion of investment. If this is done, तो खत्म, टाटा बाय बाय गया. Asset transferred to son's wife. Everything same. The transferee this time is not spouse, it is son's wife. Means first tell me, in the previous section, was the gender of transferee specified? नहीं, मतलब husband to wife, wife to husband, both covered. But your gender of receiver is specified. Means can I say this has to be daughter-in-law? हाँ, लेकिन this can be FIL or MIL. Gender is specified only of the receiver. If there is any asset transferred to spouse or son's wife for inadequate consideration, मतलब कैन आई से दिस पर्सन इज नॉट शोइंग टैक्स ऑन कैपिटल गेन्स, तो फिर इस एसेट में से वॉट एवर इज द इनकम बीइंग जनरेटेड इट विल बी रिसीव्ड बाय बट टैक्सेबल फॉर द ट्रांसफरर. अगर लोग हियर यू कैन नॉट हैव सेकेंड कंडीशन. व्हाट वाज सेकेंड कंडीशन? मतलब लिविंग टुगेदर. यू कैन नॉट डिवोर्स योर फादर इन लॉ और मदर इन लॉ. ऐसा बोलने के लिए बोलता है दैट कुंडली हैज टू बी चेक्ड विद द ग्रूम्स मदर फर्स्ट. देयर कैन नॉट बी द सेकंड कंडीशन, ओनली वन कंडीशन, इनएडिक्वेट कंसिडरेशन. बस ट्रांसफर कौन? डॉटर. दिस टाइम जेंडर इज स्पेसिफाइड बट ट्रांसफरर का नहीं. ट्रांसफरर कैन बी एनी वन ऑफ देम. इनकम विल बी रिसीव्ड बाय डॉटर इन लॉ, टैक्सेबल फॉर फादर इन लॉ, मदर इन लॉ. टडंग 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 टडंग. सुनो, ओनली इंडिविजुअल कैन हैव फादर इन लॉ, मदर इन लॉ, डॉटर इन लॉ. रिलेशन ऑफ डॉटर इन लॉ दिस टाइम. लास्ट टाइम इट वाज हस्बैंड वाइफ. 2 occasions, income and transfer. Indirect transfer, clubbing. Before indirect transfer, if we go to that capital gain पे, clubbing. Change in form of asset, clubbing. Indirect transfer, clubbing. Only accretion, no clubbing. And if she invests the amount in business, so proportion of investment on the first day of the previous year, everything same. पूरा same. Good question. So deemed donor में it was transferred to spouse and son's wife. था? There I explained or I did not? I did. I'll repeat क्योंकि याद नहीं है ना. I'll remind you. that income tax law was enacted in 1961. In that generation, once she came to the house, she will never go. So she will be in the same house as the transferor. समझा? Daughter's husband will not be in your house. 1961 में तो नहीं ना. 1961 की जनरेशन में once she married and came to the house, my nani guy must have told, she said, I have come in this house standing and I will go sleeping. I will not leave my husband का house. Come what may. उस जनरेशन में she used to be, means it is possible that your son will run away but she will not run away. 1961 के हिसाब से they have written, son, today she will run away, with her son will also run away, and it is possible that daughter-in-law is not in your house but son-in-law stays in your house. Today it is possible. I am waiting for the invitation. क्योंकि ऑनलाइन लेक्चर तो I can take from anywhere. By the way, लेक्चर लेने का ही जरूरत नहीं है तो once that invitation comes. With 1/3 share also. मतलब I will not be very chore type. I will give 1/3 to her two brothers. 1/3 then also 1/3 comes to me. With 1/3 share also my 4-5 generations can live for the rest of their life without working. With 1/3 share. I'm just waiting for the offer. A big reason behind my arrogance also. मेरा सटक गया ना तो I don't work wherever I don't want to work. क्योंकि रिस्क नहीं है ना, बैकग्राउंड भारी है तो डर नहीं है. एंड देन आई एम फ्री टू टीच द वे आई लाइक. नहीं तो टीचिंग प्रोफेशन में बहुत जगह पे ऐसा होता है, ए व्हाई आर यू गिविंग अल्कोहल का एग्जांपल इन क्लास. मैं बोला मेरा मर्जी, आप बोलो तो पढ़ाओ नहीं तो नहीं पढ़ाओ ना. इमेजिन वर्किंग ओनली विद वन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड देन ऑल्सो बीइंग फाइनेंशियली सो डिपेंडेंट के इसके बिना कुछ नहीं होगा. तो आई डोंट डिपेंड ऑन वन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. एंड दूसरा, बैकग्राउंड का टेंशन नहीं है. 6 महीना साल भर ऐसे कुछ मगजमारी कर भी लिया ना किसी के साथ झगड़ा वगड़ा करके तो भी टेंशन नहीं है. देयरफॉर आई कैन डू दिस. तो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन रिड्यूसेस रिस्क. फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट का एडवाइस है. पॉइंट ये है, यू अंडरस्टूड क्या वाई सन्स वाइफ इज रिटर्न एंड नॉट डॉटर्स हस्बैंड? क्योंकि 1961 के जनरेशन में शी विल नॉट लीव द हाउस. अभी डोंट माइंड प्लीज, अभी अगर ऐसा है भी ना, शी विल नॉट, पहले होता था शी विल नॉट लिव द हाउस, नाउ इट इज शी विल नॉट लिव इन द हाउस. मैसिव चेंजेस हैव टेकन प्लेस ओवर द इयर्स, बट इनकम टैक्स लॉ इज येट टू बी अमेंडेड. आर वी क्लियर ऑन दैट? चलिए, तो 64(1)(4) का ऑल कंडीशंस गेट रिपीटेड इन 64(1)(6. क्लियर है? एंड देन वी हैव 64(1)(7 and 64(1)(8. I hope you understand. Section and subsection number is same, only the clause number is different. Any transfer of asset, this time you are doing the transfer to a trust or AOP. For whose benefit? For benefit of your spouse. So 64(1)(7 will apply, and for benefit of your son's wife, so 64(1)(8 will apply. That's the only difference between the two provisions. If there is a difference, it is the only difference. Sir, मतलब क्या? Sir, मतलब सुनो, X wants to transfer something to Mrs. X या Mrs. X1. मतलब assume कि X1 is the son. So this becomes, can I say, spouse? And this becomes son's wife. Any kind of transfer direct will attract 64(1)(4) or 6. Yes. Any kind of indirect transfer, both sections से will also attract clubbing. तो यार लफड़ा है. I will create इन दोनों के बीच में a trust or AOP. These are famously known as family trusts, and these are created in which families? You know, they are not very popular. But if the family is such that father is 75 years old and son is 8 years old, many a times it happens that children are born late. Correct? हाँ, वही शाहरुख खान का वो क्या है, वो छोटे बेटे का नाम क्या है? अब्राम. See, Aryan and Surana are grown-ups. God forbid, touch wood, I pray for the long life of everyone. But if something happens to Shahrukh Khan, they are grown-ups. But that the third one is very, very small. No? What about his rights? So in such families where there is, double generation ka gap between parents and children, and there are a lot of such families. One of the biggest stars of Indian stock markets, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji, passed away recently. But his children are both, I think, minors till now. They are in 11, 12 years ka, kitne saal ke ho? But minor hai na. In such cases, such people create family trusts. That I will transfer my asset to the trust. You take care of it. This is not a charitable trust. Charitable trusts in income tax are eligible for tax exemption. It's a chapter in CA final, assessment of charitable trust. But this is a family trust, a private trust. Who is the asset transferred to? To the trust. And what am I telling the trust? The Sun trust. If something happens to me, then you have to give the income from the asset. To whom? To my spouse or to my son's wife. This can be an immediate benefit. Means when I am giving at that time, only writing a clause that all the income of the asset I am gifting, all the income arising from the asset, give it to my wife or son's wife. Or after I die, give it. Matlab, can I say I am doing it for immediate or future benefit of spouse or son's wife? Such family trusts are only created for safety of this person's family, where there is a huge gap between father and their other generation. Okay? Any such case, this income that is arising, who is benefiting? The spouse of the transferor or son's wife. So whatever income is being generated, we are going to club that income also in the hands of transferor. On the same lines. But difference khali kitna hai? You are actually transferring your asset to your spouse only, or your son's wife only. Directly you go and give, so previous two sections apply. Indirectly through an accommodating party you give, then also it applies. But don't give only. Directly or indirectly don't give. Give it to that third entity, which is your family ka trust. Once you give it to that third entity, suno dhyan se, is asset transferred. Asset I am giving. Is asset transferred? Yes, 60 not applicable. This trust ko transfer we have done irrevocable. So 61 not applicable. And the transferee is not spouse or son's wife. So the previous two cases also not applicable. That means, can I say I have escaped all the sections till now? But I will get caught in 64.17 and 64.18 based on who is the beneficiary. The only difference is beneficiary, spouse and son's wife. Asset is where? Here only, no? If trust or AOP transfers the asset and the asset reaches them, then it will become indirect transfer. अगर वो ही करना था तो I would have then directly done it. I wanted to escape that. So I created this family trust. Is that understood? So till the time the asset does not reach the ultimate person, that means this transfer has not taken place, only direct or indirect. The asset has stopped here. समझा क्या? So it's not direct or indirect transfer. We have transferred the asset to a third party. But who is going to get benefit? Immediate or future? Spouse or son. And in that case, clubbing provisions will be applicable. Now clear? Next section. Very famous section of clubbing. Itna famous that by the time students reach final, they remember anything else or no? This everyone remembers. By the way, as of now, this is something which is applicable to almost all of you, barring one or two students. Malum kya? Any income of minor child. Quick show of hands, how many are still minors? है ना, तो हाथ ऊपर करना, अभी नीचे करने का बोला. अच्छा, अच्छा some were, अच्छा ठीक है, but I think when I started the batch there were more minors. No, it was only you guys. तो सुनो, माइनर तो पागल है बच्चा, अक्कल वक्कल तो है नहीं, बच्चा can't earn income. If a minor has earned income, it is not minor's income, it is parents का brain involved. Minor cannot have salary, house, property or business, क्योंकि minor does not have that much brain. Minor is पागल वागल, there is no अक्कल. Understood or no? तो minor का income will not be taxed in the hands of minor. It will be clubbed. Clubbed means added in the hands of minor. Ka income will be clubbed in the hands of parent. But which parent? Because parents are two. नहीं, तो हर बात में हाँ parents two. Which two? In whose hands? Father ke mother. See, parent. Minor will not pay tax because minor does not have brain. It is the brain of parents. Who will pay tax? Father ke mother. That person with higher income. Example. Father का income 5 lakhs. Mother का income 6 lakhs. Father 5, mother 6. Minor has got 3 lakh का income. ठीक है. Add 3 lakh here. 8 lakh is higher than 6 lakh. Sorted? Live? With higher income before clubbing. Next. What if the parents have separated? The father is living a peaceful life basically. What if the parents have separated? Guess करो ना, right निकलेगा. This is the question. Next to the arrow I will write the answer. Custody. हाँ, वो बॉलीवुड टर्म यू आर यूजिंग. बॉलीवुड में ऐसा है, हाँ, बच्चे का कस्टडी. टैक्स सेज मेंटेनिंग पेरेंट. वही व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज राइट ओनली. आई सेड व्हाट, गेस करो, इट विल बी राइट. व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज राइट बट लीगली जैसे मेंटेनिंग. वेरी गुड. इफ वन पेरेंट इज डैड, नहीं रे, डैड. One parent is dead. Then the
father is dead.
And alive. बराबर. I expect only this much from you, which is the right answer. इससे ना the benefit is that okay, without the professor giving the answers, we are getting answers on our own. Confidence. As far as terminology is concerned, I am from South Bombay. My grammar has been always poor, but ultimately born and brought up in South Bombay. तो surviving parent. वही जिंदा वाला. हाँ चलेगा. हाँ, it's okay. हाँ, one dead तो surviving parent. If both parents have passed away, that's the maximum that I can expect from you. This time I did not ask that you say, guess मारो, right निकलेगा. Because I knew you will give the wrong answer. और बाल काले से सफेद होने लग गए ये आंसर सुन सुन. यूशी कौन? I never said कि give the answer, Baba. I just asked you in दोनों में maximum. I asked you here with the example of 5 lakh, 6 lakh. Why are you giving answers I didn't ask? I have just put a question. And the reason why I did not ask you is because never in a CA final batch also students give the right answer. Who have supposedly studied direct tax in inter this chapter. They are learning for the second time. But most CA final students clear CA inter IDT के भरोसे. IDT is कितना 50 मार्क्स 40 मार्क्स, DT is 60, IDT is 40, GST 40 में से ना यू कैन गेट रेडी नहीं 1 मार्क नीटनेस का करोगे तो 41 ऑल्सो, बाकी 39 इज नॉट पॉसिबल, यू विल गेट 40. वेलकम टू इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स लर्निंग. इंटरमीडिएट में यू विल नॉट गेट 39, यू विल गेट 40. दैट्स GST. पासिंग मार्क्स हो गया. स्टूडेंट इज लाइक क्या, आई एम गुड इन कॉस्टिंग, FM, अकाउंट्स, प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट्स आर गुड. एग्रीगेट मैथ्स याद है, इंट्रोडक्शन में आई टोल्ड यू एग्रीगेट 50% वो तो हो जाएगा किधर. And 40 का IDT is taking guarantee. There are students who don't open their DT का textbook also. This is vast, huge, and this huge is also half of direct tax. The full comes in final. So students are like, "Why said final में करने का?" Final तक they don't know the answer of this question. The moment I say both passed away, sir, guardian, what you shouted, they also shouted. So it is so much acceptable at inter level if you say, and that is why I did not ask. Unko I asked, bolo who will pay tax? Then they say guardian, then I say wrong. In your case I didn't ask. I expected this much because this was ridiculously easy. So no, if both parents are dead, first of all there will be club करने के लिए parent किधर है? Firstly, did you understand that? But the moment I say no clubbing, someone like, hey, for exempt income na, no. नहीं, मैंने बोला नो क्लबिंग, क्लबेबिलिटी इज गॉन, टैक्सेबिलिटी इज नॉट गॉन. मित्रों, माइनर विल पे टैक्स. जब ये बेचारा बोल रहा था सब लोग नहीं, व्हेन पीपल कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट यू एंड व्हेन पीपल कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट यू टू मच, देयर आर चांसेस यू आर राइट. माइनर विल पे टैक्स. हाँ, कंफ्यूजन नहीं चाहिए. यू मे ऑलवेज से सर माइनर से कैसे AO will ask for tax? AO will call the minor in his office. Minor boy, uncle पहले lollipop दे. Minor, how will? अरे listen. Uncle नहीं. Compliances will be done by the guardian. Guardian का responsibility is to file minor का income tax का return, to pay taxes on his behalf. If there is any notice to be present, to be present on behalf of the minor. If you have to give any reply to any notice, to do that on behalf of the minor. Guardian will do everything. But what is clubbing if you have not understood? My income. Listen carefully. In my income, add someone else ka income. In my income, add means my income ka total plus clubbing. That is clubbing. If parents are alive, it will happen. Guardian will do your compliances, but he will not add in his own income. Means guardian will make two computations. खुद का computation on own income. Minor का separate computation. Minor will be treated as an assessee and will be computing tax on that minor का income. After that, all the duties will be done by the guardian. मतलब we are not going to club it. That does not mean exempt है. Who will pay tax? Minor will pay tax. Is that understood? So, compliances will be done by guardian. Of course, income tax office में we can't call minor uncle lollipop. समझा क्या? That will be done by guardian, but guardian won't add in his own income. That is why we say no club. Is that clear? Sure. Next, there will be absolutely no clubbing if, listen carefully, the income is earned through special skill. The income is earned through manual labor. Let me explain what do I mean by this. First of all, this is a case where it is very much possible that your parents are alive. See, if both parents are dead, we have already studied the treatment. Guardian will do the duties, but won't add in his own income. That means minor will pay tax. But now we are talking about a case where the minor child ka parents are still living. So if the parents are living, what is the tax treatment? Sir, this is the tax treatment. Parent with higher income before clubbing, separate hua to maintaining parent, died, one died to surviving parent. But here there will be no clubbing. And no clubbing means minor will pay tax even if parents are alive. Why? Because the minor has earned money through special skill, manual labor. There is one more point, but let me explain the logic first. Why was this whole section 64(1)(a) created? Because minor pagal bachcha no akal. Minor cannot have income. And if minor has income means parents have used their brain to generate this income. To add in income of parents only. But there are some children who are minors, but they have special skill. Manual labor prohibit hoega, but then there is child labor everywhere. You will start your articleship, you will come to know what child labor is. Exactly. What is child labor, how exploitation happens at work, you will come to know. Okay. But special skill, you've seen Bajrangi Bhaijaan, that kid who acted in that. Full movie she didn't say anything. Last mein she said mama. Correct or no? But rest of the movie only with her expression she killed it. If I take you little back into the history, many years ago there was a movie called Taare Zameen Par. तुमने कुछ नहीं देखा ना? ये नहीं सर वो मीम देखा है. हाँ तारे जमीन पर dyslexia. That actor का name that is ईशान अवस्थी तो कैरेक्टर का नहीं. मैं एक्टर इज दर्शिल सफाई. दर्शिल सफाई ग्रीन लॉन्स वाला. आप ग्रीन लॉन्स वाला? अच्छा. क्योंकि क्या है कि he is a major now. That time he was minor, and there were a lot of my past students who were his batchmates in HR college. So I said, देखो in the movie he has acted so well, like literally you can't, you really feel that he genuinely has that learning disability. And those students told me, I have not met him, कि sir वो ऐसा ही है sir. In real life also he behaves like this only. He is thoda sa, we don't know, but in the movie he acted very well. He was a minor child at that time. Then take Bajrangi Bhaijaan ka example. Take any other example. कि इतना enough है. When a minor child is earning money through own skills, that is purely your skill, not parents covering. If you are doing a job and earning money through that manual labor, that is purely your skill. So minor child, maybe say performing stand-up comedy or something. Maybe performing in a dance show and getting paid for that. Maybe playing some sports and getting paid for that. Actors ka to I only took an example. Clubbing will not apply. Even if parents are alive, clubbing will not apply. Parents ke income mein we will not add. We will make separate computation of minor. Compliances, parents are alive, so they will do, not alive, so guardian will do. But we will not add in their income. Special skill minor labor, understood? Third, minor who is suffering from ATU disability. Minor suffering from what? थोड़ा सा deep में I will have to take you in income tax. Not difficult to understand. खाली listening is required. Chapter 6A is a chapter of deductions, where we are allowed to take deductions from our gross total income. It starts from section 80C and goes up to 80U. That means 80U is a section in chapter 6A, which will be done over there. Orally I am doing, not explaining in detail. Whenever a person is suffering from disability, mental or physical, lots and lots of disabilities are given. Cerebral palsy, orthopedic या physically handicapped, hearing deficiency, blindness, mentally retarded, any of these disabilities if you are suffering. So first you need a certificate of being disabled. Once you have that certificate, we can say that you are 80U disabled. And once a person is 80U disabled, so we give you tax benefit. If you are normal, having normal disability, means 40% to 79%. Is treated as, means you are 40% blind, 50%, 60, 70, 79%. That's normal disability. You get income tax benefit of 75,000 rupees. Subtract it from your income. Like a deduction. Taxable income will reduce by 75. But if you are severely disabled, which is 80% or above, matlab, question will tell you 80% blind or 90% blind. 40 to 79, normal disability. And severe disabled, 1,25,000 ka tax benefit. That is called 80U disability. In order to get this deduction, you need to get a certificate from an approved doctor. Because if by calling yourself pagal, you start getting tax benefit of 75 or 125, then I am a Marwadi, I have got no ego when it comes to money. I will go to my assessing officer and say, hey, मैं तो पागल मैं तो पागल रे. नो ईगो. मैं तो पूरा पागल है. So I get 125. No? So you need certificate from approved doctor. समझा क्या? If I have to criticize someone without being rude, I just give them a tax advice free tax advice देता हूं. Sir, I'll give you a free tax advice. इस साल अपने इनकम टैक्स में टेक 80U का डिडक्शन. फ्री टैक्स एडवाइस. Normally I don't give free advice to people, but I really like you. So this year you are eligible. वो बेचारा घर जाके चेक करता है. So if a minor child is suffering from such a disability, we'll write all this, we'll do whatever I have discussed. वापस करके दिखाऊंगा. In chapter 6 है. वापस, we'll do it again. Understand what is happening here. Whenever a person suffers from such a disability, first of all, have you all understood what is disability? In India, there is a law. Listen to the name of the law. Person with Disabilities Equal Opportunities Act. Person with Disability Equal Opportunities Act, under which every month government will give you some money. If you are a person with disability, government will give you money so that you can take care of yourself. You are disabled, no? Government has to take care of you. Every month you get money under that law. Person with Disabilities Equal Opportunities Act. Name is also self-explanatory. Correct? Eh? That disability can happen with a minor also. So minor with that disability will also get money. Now my question is, this money which the minor is getting, this is not skill or labor. And if it is not skill or labor, so normally we say parents pay tax, clubbing over. But question is, this money is because of parents ka brain or minor ka disability. And therefore we will not apply clubbing on such minors kind. So special skill manual labor is your own effort. And here because of that logic. But there is one big defect here. And it requires correction. Minor with ATU disability, they should have said, if the income is received because of such disability. They should have added this line. They have not added this line. This will result in manipulations. Well, how? Supposingly there is a disabled minor child. In the name of that disabled minor child, you start taking other incomes like interest, dividend, etc. They have written only this much in the section. So whether the income is because of the disability or other income, no clubbing. The loophole is that they have not written that only the incomes arising because of disabilities, no clubbing. Other incomes will be clubbed. They have not written. They have simply written what? Minor suffering from disability, no clubbing. Which means disability wala income or other income, no clubbing. Big defect. You can, I wonder, who will be such parents who have a minor child in their house, suffers from disability, but whose minor child ke disability ko they are exploiting. Because whose minor child ka disability income or other income, no clubbing, no? Will there be parents who are exploiting their own minor child ka disability? We don't know. But the point is that whether the disability is curable or not curable, chuna to ultimately we are applying to the government, no? So there may be cases. One day when I become the finance minister of the country, very soon it is a matter of time, I will say minor with ATU disability on income earned due to such disability. On income earned due to, महंगा वाला पहने दे, sorry. On income earned due to such disability. Is that clear? हाँ. Which income? Have we studied any section 10 का example? खत्म. तभी तो we are giving you the deduction of 75 and 25. समझा क्या नहीं? So there will be absolutely no clubbing in such cases. So any income of minor child earned by way of special skill, earned by way of manual labor, and earned by a minor child who is suffering from disability, there will be no clubbing. Are we clear? Next point. You will be surprised. Income tax defines what is a child, who is a child. मैं नहीं बोल रहा है. Even this, it amounts to double meaning or non-veg discussion. I am not discussing it. Income tax says so. what is the definition of child? Child will include obviously your own child. Child will include stepchild. Stepchild समझते हैं? If stepchild is minor, still all this will apply. मतलब समझ लो X has a child with Mrs. X, but now for some reason X or Mrs. X, any one of them passes away, and the surviving parent does remarriage. So that becomes a stepchild of the new parent. So whichever is higher का logic will apply over. Clubbing will apply. Are you with me? Child will include stepchild. Child will include adopted child. Very easy to understand. But child will not include a child which is born out of an illegal marriage. बोल हाँ बोल हाँ बोल. Child born out of an illegal marriage. Such a child is not a child in the eyes of income tax. So stepchild is your child for clubbing. Adopted child is your child for clubbing. But illegal child is, I know where your brain has reached by now. He is wondering, अच्छा वो मेरे नेबर को हम लोग चिढ़ाते रहते हैं, वो तो ये अच्छा वो यंगर वन इन अवर फैमिली हम बोलते तेरे को कचरे के डब्बे से लाए थे. अच्छा अरे अच्छा नहीं. That means you are thinking in the wrong direction. Then you have not understood what this provision is trying to tell you. So no, मैं बोलता हूँ. Under Hinduism, one legal marriage is allowed. For second marriage, you have to divorce your first wife. If the second marriage is done without first divorce, that second marriage is illegal. Child of that marriage does not fall in the definition of child. So no clubbing. क्योंकि वो child ही नहीं. लाया. But point क्या है? For that now other people also must watch Gangs of Wasseypur. Plenty of other examples also in Bollywood movies. ऐसा नहीं कि Gangs of Wasseypur is the only movie which will give you. But did you understand this? Under Islam, the same rule becomes 4. So you have to divorce one of the 4 before having one extra wife. But the process is very easy, as that they have to just say talaq thrice. Till once upon a time it was very easy. Okay. ठीक है. अभी कैसा है पता है कि अभी यार तो see in general we make fun of everything and everyone. Our idea is today का knowledge of taxation should be better than yesterday. That's the basic idea. ठीक है. So I don't leave my family members. So it is not a religious based comment that we are making. But and all the students also understand. अभी one day one of the students who was from Islam community उसको बोला देख तेरे को 4 allowed ऐसा कुछ. And that I say in a lot of classes. And they all take it in very, very light note. But one of the students had actually studied the Islam ka religious books. He had actually done pura ka pura research on that. Parallel study. He said, sir, what does Islam say? Let me tell you. I said, bol, I will get knowledge. He says, Islam permits, why are 4 marriages allowed? Always question. No? Because my point was, yaar bhai, humko ek difficult padta hai. My question was permanently this. Handling one is very difficult. How you handle 4? He said, sir, Islam told us that if you want to get married once for yourself as choice. As a human being, that's your right. But once you get married once as per your choice, then get married to 3 widows of the Islam community. It's your duty to support the community. 1 marriage as per choice and 3 widows of the community. That is why Islam permits 4 marriages. Which no one knows. I did not know before he told me. You did not know before I told you today. People of Islam community don't know. So they are, बोला कि नहीं बस हमको allowed है. वैसे भी, most of us follow things in our respective religions without knowing what the religion is actually trying to say. Most of us don't know only what is religion. Religion and वो बोला था वो Oh My God movie में कि धर्म का क्या relevance है. Religion will either make you mad or make you a terrorist. Religion in our country is more of a business and less of belief. So getting into that discussion is no longer relevant, but one thing became clear. अभी जैसे कि इनकम फ्रॉम अदर सोर्सेज के चैप्टर में आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू से हमको एक बार गिफ्ट एग्जेम्प्ट, तेरे को 4 बार गिफ्ट एग्जेम्प्ट. द क्वेश्चन इज ओनली फॉर इनकम टैक्स एग्जेम्पशन शुड वी टेक सच अ रिस्क. क्वेश्चन तो वो भी अराइज होता है ना. ओके, बट लेट्स बी क्लियर दैट 5th marriage without anyone divorce is illegal. So this illegal child was not where your brain went away. This was something else only. Is that clear? So no, for being legal marriage certificate, अभी मेरा शादी को 8 साल हो गया, I don't have marriage certificate. मतलब रिस्क नहीं है, कभी भी एलिमनी आएगा ही नहीं, मैरिज ही लीगल नहीं है. क्यों सर? सुनो, मैरिज सर्टिफिकेट का हेडेक. फर्स्ट यू हैव टू अप्लाई इन म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन फॉर मैरिज सर्टिफिकेट. डेट in that application form you have to write the names of 2 witnesses and a priest. You have to take sign of the priest on that form. ठीक है, पंडित जी तो अपने सेटिंग वाले, पंडित जी साइन चाहिए दे दो. 2 witnesses का नेम यू राइट. आई आस्क्ड माय फ्रेंड ए फ्रेंड बी, तू आएगा? बोला हाँ. उसमें क्या है? मैं तेरा आधार कार्ड देगा? बोला हाँ. उसमें क्या है? आफ्टर यू सबमिट देन द सिस्टम विल सिलेक्ट कि चलो कम ऑन 19 अक्टूबर. तो फोन को फ्रेंड को फोन किया 19. बोला नहीं तभी तो मैं दिवाली के लिए बाहर जा रहा हूं. मतलब फर्स्ट दे विल गिव यू देयर ऑप्शन टू चूज द विटनेस, देन द सिस्टम विल अलॉट अ रैंडम डेट. तो कितना डिफिकल्ट है. मतलब फर्स्ट आई चूज माय फ्रेंड एज विटनेस एंड देन ऑन दैट डेट ही इज नॉट. एक्चुअली क्या होना चाहिए? फर्स्ट दे शुड टेल मी द डेट. तो आई आस्क माय फ्रेंड कि उस दिन यू आर फ्री? आई हैव प्लेंटी ऑफ फ्रेंड्स, एनी 2 आई हैव टू चूज. नो, आई कैन चूज एनीवन. करेक्ट और नो? बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कॉम्प्लिकेशन और ये करोगे इतना नाटक से चाहिए नहीं. अच्छा, इवन आई एम सेफ फ्रॉम एलिमनी. नेवर रजिस्टर माई मैरिज. मैडम के डॉक्यूमेंटेशन चेंज करने थे, हर पेपर्स वर फ्रॉम कोलकाता, नो प्रॉब्लम. वेडिंग कार्ड भेजते ना तो पैन कार्ड पे सरनेम चेंज हो जाए. यू जस्ट हैव टू सेंड योर वेडिंग कार्ड टू इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट, दे चेंज द सरनेम ऑन द पैन कार्ड. पैन कार्ड चेंज हो गया. ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस, नो वी स्टे इन साउथ मुंबई, वी हैव गुड लक मोटर ट्रेनिंग स्कूल. गुड लक मोटर ट्रेनिंग स्कूल इज द ओनर ऑफ RTOs ऑफ मुंबई. ओके, you just go and say कि इस फेस, this is my face, इस पे take any name. बोला इस नाम का ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस बना के दो on this face. It is possible for them. They can do anything. I am telling you. Good luck owns RTOs. Means any other motor training school is charging 2,000, 3,000 less. Still go for good luck. They mostly will tell you, you don't worry, your license we will send. घर पे कुरियर का एक्स्ट्रा दे देना, नहीं तो ऑफिस आके लेके जाना. नो नीड टू कम टू RTO. इतना सेटिंग. आई मेड मैडम का ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस मुंबई के एड्रेस पे, पैन कार्ड हो गया, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस हो गया, तो सबमिटेड दैट एंड टूक आधार कार्ड मुंबई के एड्रेस पे. स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली ऑल डॉक्यूमेंट्स चेंज्ड विदाउट रजिस्टरिंग द मैरिज. हैशटैग ठग लाइफ. आई एम सेफ फ्रॉम एलिमनी. ओके, वी हैव अ 3.5-year-old son now with the marriage not registered. लेटर क्या हुआ, ये स्कूल वगैरह में सबमिट करने के लिए वी मेड वन सिंपल एफिडेविट विच यू कैन गो टू एनी, वो टाइपिस्ट होता है ना कोर्ट का नोटरी करके, वी मेड दैट. तो नाउ देयर इज सम लीगल रिकॉग्निशन बिकॉज देयर इज एन एफिडेविट विच इज मेड. बट बिफोर दैट माई सन ऑल्सो नो क्लबिंग बिकॉज ही विल ऑल्सो फॉल इन दिस. व्हेन द मैरिज इज ओनली नॉट लीगली registered, automatically all such children become. मतलब this illegal marriage was not where your brain took you, because I know where your brain can take you. You understood? When marriage is not legally recognized, we are talking about that. अभी बोल. Of course, we are saying no clubbing. Is that clear? चल. And last point. Section 1032. Section 10. Nature. Exempt income. Parent will get an exemption. Parent की income में are we adding the income of the minor child? The amount being clubbed. Or rupees 1,500 per annum per child. Whichever is lower. So if the income of the child is 1,000, fully exempt. 2,000 to 500 taxable. Write the income in the inner column minus 500, and if it is less than 500 बोलो minus 1500 and less than 1500 है तो fully exempt. But सुनो, child 1 2000, child 2 1000, total 3, you can't say 1500. इसमें 500 taxable, इसमें fully exempt. So per child you have to do child by child, same as children education allowance. And good news, guess करो. Good news, guess. No limit on children. Children पे there is nowhere any limit. No limit on number of children for the purpose of taking 1032 exemption. मतलब every child के लिए. But 1500 is very less no already. So income clubbed or 1500. Income clubbed or 1500 you have to do it on a child by child basis. Whichever is lower will be exempt. If more than 1500, excess will be taxable. That was your clubbing of income of minor child. The most popular provision of clubbing when students come in final, I tell them that you studied intermediate IDT के भरोसे, you left DT in options, so I am going to teach you some inter का topics also. Final के batches में most coaching classes in the country, heads of income clubbing set of deductions are not taught. There are already 43 chapters and it takes 2.5 months to complete a batch with everyday lectures. So it becomes too much. They want to complete batches fast so that they can have more batches in a year. So these topics are assumed that student, you know it from intermediate. So only the new chapters are taught. From 43, 8 are removed. 5 heads, clubbing set of deductions. But I teach all these chapters except salary, because salary in final C has not been asked after 2011. Salary they have completely stopped. They have to ask salary, they will ask year or TY BCom exam बस. इसीलिए सैलरी छोड़ के all the remaining, मतलब house property, clubbing, set of deductions, I cover everything. After I started teaching, some other coaching organization, they said we can't take risk because business profession capital gains comes for minimum 20 marks together. We can't take risk with that. So they have started that. But house property, clubbing, set of deductions, even today in India, I am only teaching. No other coaching class in CA final covers these topics. Anyways, 3 साल के बाद में, when clubbing of income का heading is also given to you in your classroom, you are going to see stars only in broad daylight. क्योंकि 3 साल छोड़ दो, after 3 days if you are asked what is clubbing of income, then also you see stars क्या वो करके. So after 3 years, taught or not taught is one and the same only with a lot of people, not everyone. ठीक है? तो we will be doing these topics again. Final में ये सब I do, but you, if sitting in that same class, are always going to be having an edge over other students because you will be able to recollect the logic. Provisions I will revise. हो सकता है next 3 years there will be amendment. Auntie has to hobbies bringing amendment. Provisions I will tell you. You will probably know the logic even before I tell you in class. Okay? तो ऐसा करूंगा मैं. बोलो you know the logic? You will say हाँ. मैं बोलूंगा बताओ the logic. You will say the logic. Then I like, अरे यार you are very intelligent. How do you know the logic? कैसे पता आपको? Purposely I will do that. तो आप क्या बोलोगे? नहीं, I was good student in inter इसलिए. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. Be honest, okay? When you are sitting in that classroom. कैसे पता उसका answer other people should know also. Are we clear on this? So this is your exemption for minor child. Next section 64.2. We are still in clubbing का chapter where you have to pay tax on income of other people. बराबर है कि नहीं? हाँ. सुनो. Supposingly there is a member of HUF. Does member of HUF have right over the family property? But can he have some own property outside the family also with own earned money? Member of HUF has transferred his self-acquired asset to the HUF. Obviously, clubbing can apply only if there is inadequate consideration, because if you are selling it with adequate consideration and offering the capital gains to tax, you can sell it to anybody on the planet. This is a mandatory condition. After this, whatever is the income arising, who will receive? Who will pay tax? जैसे you were transferring to spouse. Slabs तो HUF में भी है. Simple. Hello. हाँ. तो self acquired asset transfer to HUF. You can't say divorce your HUF. तो only condition is inadequate consideration. बराबर है कि नहीं? So received by HUF taxable for the member. And after this, there are some other points to be noted in the chapter. Kya? Point number 1. Clubbing is going to be compulsory even if it reduces tax. Very important to note. एक second, I'll bring you in any one of the examples of clubbing ka provision so that you get a better idea about this. Let's talk about this example only. Were we taxing the debenture interest in the hands of X because of clubbing provisions? In fact, the capital gain also, the change in form of asset also. We were applying clubbing provision on the assumption that X falls in higher tax rate, Y falls in lower tax rate. So he wants to maintain the asset in his own house, but still show the income at a lower rate. Correct? And therefore the income though received by her, but taxable for transfer. That was the idea. Correct? Eh? But surprisingly what happened? Iska tax rate is higher. Actually earlier she was not earning any income. So below basic exemption limit, we thought that uska 250 ka slab we will exploit. Isliye we did the transaction. But after we transferred the debentures, she got a job somewhere and started earning more than the husband. So it is possible now she is falling in higher bracket. And if we apply clubbing, so interest will go in husband ka hands of income, matlab in taxable in the husband ka hands. In fact, clubbing is going to reduce your tax because her tax rate has become higher than husband. But still it is compulsory. Matlab, ऐसा नहीं होगा that clubbing is applicable only if it is increasing your liability. Clubbing is applicable whether it is increasing your liability or decreasing. If the condition given in the section is complied, the clubbing will apply. Whether it increases or decreases your liability. Now understood with the help of example? Second, point B is explained in point A itself. Even negative income will be clubbed. तो सुनो, cow gifted by husband to wife, milk business का profits earned by wife, taxable for, but that can be milk business का loss also, no? So उस loss का set off carry forward benefit will also be given to husband. Understood? Very good. Obviously it will reduce tax because we are clubbing loss, but chalega, क्योंकि first point already said. And finally, clubbed income will be added in the same head as it happens without clubbing. Sir, क्या बोल रहा हूँ? सुनो. We saw debenture interest. If there was no clubbing, it is taxable under IFOF. So if there is clubbing, it will be taxable under IFOF of the husband. Milk PGBP. No clubbing to wife ka PGBP. Clubbing to husband ka PGBP. Suno. Computation of total income, salary, house property, PGBP, capital gain, income from other sources. Suno. Yahan pe there is nothing called clubbing as the sixth head. No. Clubbing has to be added in one of them. So without clubbing, this income would have gone in which head? That head only you had. You don't give a separate heading in your computation. Okay, 5 heads and 6th head is clubbing. 6th head is not clubbing. Heads are 5 only. In one of them we will add. Which one? Debenture interest is IFOS. So clubbing karke bhi IFOS. Milk wala is PGBP. So with clubbing also PGBP. Debenture sold capital gain. Debenture sold capital gain. We are clubbing that also. In the head. Without clubbing, where it will go? Same place it will go. Is that understood? Mitro? Shall. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, congratulations. Badhai ho. Abhinandanam. Bolo bhai. Sampla. Chapter clubbing of income. Itna. Kya karo? Bada karo? Without wasting time, very quickly, we come to the questions of clubbing, which are on page number 163. देखो, all throughout the chapter, questions will keep on coming. So page number 163, question number 145. Yes, please. Anybody willing to read? One thing I can tell you, that I will leave you at the completion of questions or 4 p.m., whichever is later. कोई पढ़ेगा?
X gives ₹1 lakh debentures to Mrs. X. She earns 10,000 interest. Therefrom, this amount is reinvested and she again earns 1 lakh.
Means gifted amount is 1 lakh ka debentures. On that, what is she earning?
10,000.
Will there be clubbing on 10,000? First tell me. Why? Because it was gifted by husband. And then from the income, she is again earning income pay income. Will this be clubbed? Because this is called, so 10,000 will be clubbed, but 1,000 will not be. 146.
X gives 1 lakh debentures to Mrs. X. She sells debentures for ₹1,50,000. The amount is again reinvested and she earns an interest of ₹50,000 therefrom.
What will be clubbed? First, debentures ka sale is earning a profit of
50,000.
she is selling for 1,50,000. हाँ, तो 50 का profit, face value is 1 lakh. That's capital gains.
Yes.
Will that be clubbed? Yes. And then she is reinvesting that amount. Will that be clubbed? Yes. Original asset. Original asset का sale का any money will come. Original asset के ऊपर if there was any interest earned and that interest was invested, no, उसको we call accretion. This money is received from sale of original asset. मतलब this is like a gift received from husband. But if इसके ऊपर we would have earned any interest income, that was not gifted from husband. तो उसके ऊपर if you earn any reinvestment income, that will be treated as accretion. Is that clear now? चलो 147. This is not solved. So we will solve it. It's a big sum, but we will solve it. चलो, what do we have?
Proprietary business was started by
Srimati
Rani in the year 2018. As on 1st April 21, her capital in the business was 3 lakhs. Her husband gifted her 2 lakhs on 10th April 21, which was invested by her in business on the same day. She earned profits from her business 1,50,000 in the financial year 21-22 and ₹3,90,000 in 22-23. Compute the income to be clubbed for assessment year 23-24 in the hands of Srimati Rani's husband.
Effectively, can I say question is asking us clubbing only of the second year. देखो second year का profit is 390. In 390 there will be some clubbing and some no clubbing. They are not asking for the first year. But still, I am doing this with you. What is the income of the previous year 21-22? That means assessment year 22-23, which is not asked. What is the profit? 1,50,000. We are doing a question where husband ka gift is invested in business, and therefore we have to decide how much income will be taxed in the hands of Mrs. Rani. Mrs. Rani means that amount on which we will not apply any clubbing. And how much will be taxed in the hands of her husband, Mr. Rani. मतलब we will apply. क्यों वाइफ मिसेस एक्स हो सकती है तो हस्बैंड मिस्टर रानी क्यों नहीं हो सकता? मिस्टर मतलब वी आर अप्लाइंग क्लबिंग. कैन आई से वी हैव टू डू इट इन प्रपोर्शन? What is the denominator of total investment? What is the investment in business on the first day of the financial year? That becomes denominator. I ask question, denominator kya hai? That's the total investment. You can't. Because the moment you say 3 lakh, that means automatically you have given the right answer. He has gifted when? And though that first year was not asked, the reason I did it was to check whether you have observed. Don't take blindly 3/5, 2/5. You have to take first day of the year. And accordingly, can I say 1.5 lakh she will pay tax and no clubbing? First day wala teach करने के लिए. This was not asked. Question is asking क्या second year. But I wanted to check what is your level. Is that clear? ठीक है. ठीक है. Now let's go to previous year 22-23. That means assessment year. This time, and this is asked, huh? Profit of 3,90,000, and we have to divide it between Rani. Rani means no clubbing, and Mr. Rani, matlab there will be clubbing. Obviously, has to be done in a particular proportion. Last time, I appreciate the fact that you were correct to identify middle of the year, so don't take it. First question, husband ka 2 lakh, now will you take it?
Yes.
Yes. Matlab denominator will definitely increase, it won't be 3 lakh anymore. Okay. Husband has gifted how much? 2 lakh. Correct hai? Now, if you give me this, one thing is for sure, the total of these two only will be the denominator at both places. Alternatively, if you can give me the denominator, which will be same at both places, so the difference between this denominator and this amount will automatically become the numerator. This way or that way, one thing is for sure that here it will be the same amount and the difference will be the numerator. So bolo, what do you want to give? You want to give no clubbing ka numerator ke total denominator? Denominator? Denominator. Bolo. कौन बोल रहा है? कैसे? तो कुछ भी बोलता है. Laugh at him. Laugh no. He is right. When people laugh at you, that means you are right. Start करेंगे. She had 3 lakh at the beginning of last year. Last year में we didn't take, but last year के middle में तो current year में it will be taken. And last year का profit, final accounts of proprietor, profit has to be added to the. तो मित्रों, this is the main point. सुनो, 21-22 में she has done any drawings or not, that is not given. If drawings was given, तो we would have subtracted also. But that is not given. Hello. That means 6.5 and balancing figure 4.53 and profit is hers only. देखो profit then becomes accretion. उस पे then further income you earn, उस पे no clubbing. Original gift of husband only that will be liable for clubbing and therefore the देखो first वाले year में not asked but I did to check what this. I expected that you will go wrong in this, but you very sharply pointed out sir middle of the year. Second वाले में I expected that you will see कि profit earned is also going to increase capital. I expected you to be right, but it's okay. Now it is clear that देखो final answer no calculator will do. I am not interested. Only 1,20,000 will be clubbed. But did you understand the main point of the question? Clear है? चलिए question 148.
Mr. Preetham gifted 2 lakhs, rupees 2 lakhs 10% debentures to Miss Preetham in the course of friendship. Later on, they got married and Miss Preetham direct interest on debentures. Discuss the treatment. Not applicable.
Arey, they are married now. It is coming in the because relation on both occasions. Chalo, next.
Mr. Vasudevan gifted a sum of rupees 6 lakhs to his brother's wife on 14 June 22. On 12 July 22, his brother gifted a sum of 5 lakhs to Mr. Vasudevan's wife. The gifted amounts were invested as fixed deposits in the banks of Mrs. Vasudevan and the wife of Mrs. Vasudevan's brother on 1st of.
तो क्या तुम लोग टेक्स्ट बुक लाते नहीं हो क्या? You don't bring the textbook that I then give it to him. No, ये क्या तरीका है क्वेश्चन रीड करने का यार? Is this how you read questions in exam? तोतला तिवारी की तरह you're talking तरीके से बात करो यार, क्वेश्चन रीड कर रहे हो. Because if you don't read the question correctly, how will you get the answer? मैं बोलता हूं Vasudevan has gifted 6 lakh to his brother's wife and brother has given 5 lakh to his wife. Which concept of the chapter this is? Cross transfer. वही अक्षय कुमार का मीन. Correct? One has transferred 6, one has transferred 5. Common amount 5 lakh का interest is going to be clubbed for the respective husbands and 1 lakh जो brother's wife will earn interest on 1 lakh that she will herself pay tax, उसके ऊपर there will be no clubbing, only the common component के ऊपर we will be applying clubbing. Is that understood? देख क्या दिया, दूसरा क्वेश्चन नहीं रीड करना है. Let's go ahead. Next question. Question number 150.
Mr. X transferred rupees 1 lakh debentures to an AOP subject to the condition that the AOP shall transfer interest of 9,000 to Mrs. X.
Discuss. Immediate or future transfer of spouse or son's wife. 6417, 6418. याद आया? Clubbing will apply. Next, 151.
Shri Madan, age 67 years, gifted a building owned by him to his son's wife, Srimati Hema, on 1st October 22. The building got an income of 10,000 per month throughout the year. Municipal tax for the first half of the year was 5,000 was paid in June 22. The municipal tax for second half year was not paid till 31st March 23. Income from Sri Madan and Srimati Hema other than income from house property are given below.
मतलब he has got business income, capital gains and other sources, and she has got business में loss but capital gains में and other sources में profit other than the house property का income. Capital gain does not relate to shares and securities because shares and securities का capital gain का tax treatment is a little different. When the chapter will be done, it will be taught to you. Compute दोनों का income. Listen, these incomes will go in his hand only. All our profits, we just have to add 1,50,000 and 150. These will go in Hema ka hands. Capital gain is profit, other sources is profit, business is loss. You don't know it today, but one day set off ke chapter mein you will be taught that business loss can be adjusted against capital gains or other sources ka loss. Business loss is not allowed to be adjusted only against salary and other sources mein if you have betting income, casual income. But ignore all this. Right now kya hai? One loss, one profit allowed. Okay? Don't put load on your brain. You are a CA inter student. Okay? So 250 के सामने 75 तो will get adjusted. That is not a problem. क्या है? These are all profits. Just add. These are losses. मतलब one loss तो adjust the loss. Net बचता है 250 minus 175 whatever is. What about the rental income? What about the rental income? Rental income from the property 10,000 per month. 6 months तक father-in-law is getting. बाकी का 6 months daughter-in-law is getting. Correct or no? You agree with this? Whatever daughter-in-law is getting, that also is going to be added in the income of father-in-law only. So see how to present it. 10,000 is for 12 months, but can I say October में it was transferred तो 60 का rent both will get. वो बनेगा आपका gross annual value. 5,000 first half का municipal tax is paid, but second half का is not paid. So outstanding का no deduction. So that will become your NAV. Standard deduction, nothing great. So this is father-in-law ka, and this is her income which will get added here only. Okay, that means this total will become the income and baki ka incomes have to just been added. Here it is becoming 0 because it was a gift and baki ka incomes are just being adjusted. So the main adjustment was only till here that uska income compute karke you add out here. That was the only thing main about this question. Nothing great. Computational skills of other heads of income are being tested. Is that understood? Chalo. Next, 152.
Mr. X has 26,000 equity shares in X Limited and Mrs. X has 25,000 equity shares in the same company. The paid-up capital of the company is rupees 10 lakh divided into 1 lakh equity shares. Both Mr. and Mrs. X receive a remuneration of 1 lakh per annum. Besides this, Mr. X has an income from business, rupees 1 lakh, and Mrs. X has income from house property, rupees 80,000. Compute income of both Mr. X and Mrs. Y.
First of all, other income क्या है? X का 1 lakh and Mrs. का 80,000. And apart from that, they have both got 1 lakh remuneration. Are they having substantial interest? Think about it. How many shares of the company? 1 lakh. So voting power of 20% means 20,000. Observe karo, both have substantial interest. But just having substantial interest is not enough. If you think about it that way. Question has to also specify whether they have the qualification or they don't have the qualification. कुछ भी बोला है? नहीं. So they are just saying receive 1 lakh remuneration each. First of all, this 1 lakh will be taxable for Mr. X. This 80 will be taxable for Mrs. X. Till now there is no problem. Now we are talking about the extra income of 1 lakh which is from the same company where both have substantial interest. Let us assume a situation where both have adequate qualification. तब तो दोनों का 1 lakh will be added in their respective incomes. मतलब Mr. X का we will take 1 plus 1 and इसका we will take 1 plus 80. Supposingly one of them does not have adequate qualification. So still this 1 and 80 will not change, but remuneration of 2 lakh will be added in the other ka income. Okay. But if both of them don't have adequate qualification, so would you like to guess where the 2 lakh will be taxable? So X का is 1 lakh and Mrs. X का 80. तो X के income में it will get added. Understood? When both don't have qualification, तो फिर higher वाले में we will be adding it. यहाँ पे institute ने जो suggested answer दिया, they assumed that X का total income is higher and both don't have adequate qualification. इसलिए only 80 will come here and 2 lakh plus 1 lakh 3 lakh will go here. In case there was adequate qualification, तो यहाँ से 1 lakh will come here. In case अगर ऐसा होता तो. Okay, so this answer was given on the assumption that both don't have adequate qualification. तो higher वाले के अंदर it was added. Is this clear? But the very next question tells us what?
What would be your answer if Mr. X holds 1,000 equity shares and Mrs. X holds 19,000 equity?
Will you say that the section is not applicable? तो मित्रों yes, relative का definition we will study whenever we study income from other sources, but this requires no explanation that spouse is relative. So what is X holding? Is spouse relative? What is spouse holding? So total is, which becomes equal to or more than 20, means still X has substantial interest. And what about Mrs. X? She also, no, because if 1 plus 19 is 20, so 19 plus 1 is also 20 only. Are both having substantial interest? So same answer. It is not 20% alone, it is 20% with relative. समझा क्या? तो same answer रहेगा. But next question. Is this clear? 20% with relative वाला part clear? Next question.
What would be your answer if X holds 20,000 equity shares and Mrs. X nil? Mrs. X receives a remuneration from the company 10 lakh for a job for which she has technical qualification.
Now this time X is having, Mrs. X is not having. तो वो 10 lakh का clubbing? क्यों? She has adequate. The moment adequate qualification comes, topic only is over. Actually क्या है? Adequate qualification हुआ तो all the clubbing का discussion is only not applicable, no? इसलिए in the answer they had assumed here institute के there is no adequate qualification so that we can apply the clubbing का provision. समझे? चलिए question 155.
Discuss the following. Mr. X has gifted rupees 1 lakh debentures to his brother's wife, Mrs. Z, and she earns 8,000 therefrom.
Decide. खुद के वाइफ का क्लबिंग लगता है, भाई के वाइफ का, नेबर के वाइफ का. हाँ, इफ देयर वाज ब्रदर की तरफ से क्रॉस ट्रांसफर, बट हियर देयर विल बी नो क्लबिंग. इज दैट अंडरस्टूड? तुम लिखते भी जा रहे हो ना सम ऑफ दीज आंसर व्हिच वी आर डायरेक्टली सॉल्व. देखो रानी का क्वेश्चन केम हियर तो यू विल गेट द पीडीएफ, लेकिन व्हाटएवर आर स्मॉल, दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल चैप्टर, so whatever we are doing here, are you also simultaneously writing? Yes. So next.
Mr. X holds 20% equity shares in ABC Limited. His son's wife, Mrs. Y, earns remuneration of rupees 1 lakh per annum from ABC Limited.
I say assume she does not have qualification, because qualification hota tab to there is no clubbing. We know that. Assume no qualification.
So 1 lakh will be clubbed. No club.
Remuneration का section is only applicable if the receiver is whether adequate or inadequate clubbing, whether adequate or inadequate qualification, there will be no clubbing because receiver is son's wife, not spouse. समझा क्या? चल question number 156. Yes please.
Mr. A has 3 minor children, 2 twin daughters and 1 son. The income of the 2 twin daughters is 2,000 per annum. And that of the son is 1,200 per annum. Compute the income in respect of the minor children to be clubbed in the hand of Mr. A.
क्या करना है? 2000, 2000 and 1200. Just add it. नहीं? We get 1500. मतलब listen. First daughter का 500 taxable. Second daughter का 500 taxable. And third? That means 1000 rupees will be taxable. 2000 but 1500 तक exempt. Actually you should do separately, but if both are more than 1500 so you can merge and give 1500 into 2 का exemption. But जिसका less था that was shown separately, no? हाँ, तो then there is no problem. You could have done it. So can I say only 1000 taxable? चलिए 157.
compute the total income of Mr. X and Mrs. X from the following. Salary income of Mr. X 5 lakh. Salary income of Mrs. X 8 lakh. Income of minor children. Minor son A from scholarship 8,000. Married minor daughter B interest income 10,000. Minor daughter C interest income 2,000. Minor son D from participation in cricket match 50,000. Interest from investment of above 5,000.
क्या प्रॉब्लम है? प्रॉब्लम क्या है? क्या राजस्थान सब जगह पे होता है? क्या राजस्थान बहुत देखा लगता है. व्हाट वाज दैट सीरियल का नेम? हाँ, राजस्थान. सी गवर्नमेंट सीज इट प्रोबेबली एज इलीगल, लेकिन देयर इज अ माइनर मैरिड डॉटर. कैन शी हैव इनकम? वी हैव टू डिसाइड द टैक्स प्रोविजन. एक्स का इनकम इज 5 लाख, वाइफ का 8 लाख. डिसाइड क्लबिंग किसके हैंड्स में होगा? एक्स एंड मिसेज एक्स. 5 एंड 8. मिसेज एक्स. चलो वन बाय वन. फर्स्ट चाइल्ड ए. यार तो नथिंग विल कम ओनली नो नाउ. दिस इज तो ओवर. एक्स का टोटल इनकम इज 5 लाख. हाउ मच यू विल राइट इन मिसेज एक्स? वाई? बिकॉज इट इज स्कॉलरशिप रिसीव, स्पेशल स्किल. अंडरस्टूड? चलो डॉटर बी इंटरेस्ट इनकम. तो सब पे ही नहीं बोल दो. इंटरेस्ट इज नॉट योर स्किल, इंटरेस्ट इज एन इन्वेस्टमेंट. 8,500 है. इररिस्पेक्टिव. मैरिड वुमन का क्लबिंग विद हस्बैंड बोला क्या? इफ इट इज माइनर तो पेरेंट विद हायर इनकम. माइनर चाइल्ड मतलब पेरेंट विद हायर इनकम. सिंपल. अंडरस्टूड? चलो डॉटर सी. यू टेल मी. यू टेल मी. अंडरस्टूड? हाँ. नेक्स्ट. विल देयर बी क्लबिंग? एक्स में तो नथिंग नो. मिसेस एक्स में ओनली 500. बोलो क्यों? डी. डी का 2 इनकम है. फर्स्ट इज पार्टिसिपेशन इन क्रिकेट मैच. एक्स में तो नो क्लबिंग, हायर वाला. वाई? बट सेकेंड इन्वेस्टमेंट का 3,500. अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल गेट द टोटल. एक्स का तो 5 लाख एंड मिसेस एक्स का यू जस्ट हैव टू टेक द टोटल. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस? तो इन्वेस्टमेंट का डिसीजन इज नॉट योर स्किल. इन्वेस्टमेंट का डिसीजन वॉज पेरेंट्स का स्किल. डिफरेंस समझे क्या? चलिए क्वेश्चन 158.
Mr. X is the karta of a issuer whose members derive income as given below. Income from X's own business 50,000.
साथ में बोलते जाओ. who will pay tax? ओन बिजनेस पे who pays tax? HUF. तो X नो. हाँ. नेक्स्ट.
Mrs. X, a dermatologist, draws salary after standard deduction 18,000.
This is her own income and after standard deduction she will pay tax. ठीक है.
Minor son A, earning interest on fixed deposits with ABC Limited, which was gifted to him by his grandfather.
This तो A will not pay either X or Mrs. X. Till now तो Mrs. X का income appears higher. हो सकता है ना, there is some other income. तो if whoever pays between father and mother will pay on 13,500. 1,500 का exemption मालूम है. चलो next. A got, minor son A got winning from lottery. Will there be clubbing? Yes. By the way, total में there will be 1,500 का exemption. ऐसा her income पे 1,500. This is the same A. Same A है. तो 215 में से 1,500 exempt. Parent with higher income. अब तक तो it is the mother only. Then
Minor daughter B gave a dance performance and received remuneration 1 lakh.
तो ये तो she will herself pay tax. तो effectively देखो, minor daughter का तो 2 lakh she is only paying tax. Other than that, father and mother का 50 and 80. So if at all we have to apply clubbing, we will apply clubbing with whom? Mother. Mother के अंदर son का income कितना? 2 lakh lottery, interest 1,500 का exemption and 2,13,500 will be added in the column of the mother. बहुत easy chapter है, I am telling you. Okay? चलिए 159.
Mr. X gives rupees 2 lakh to Mrs. X as a gift. She invests it in a proprietary concern and incurred loss of 40,000. Can this loss also be clubbed and carried forward by Mr. X?
लॉस है, इनकम नहीं है. इवन नेगेटिव इनकम कैन बी क्लब. करेक्ट है. चलो 160.
Mr. B has transferred through a duty registered document the income arising from a godown to his son without transferring the godown. Discuss the tax degree.
First section of the chapter. Asset with him, but income is transferred. Will there be clubbing? Yes, there will be clubbing. Chalo 161.
Mr. X has gifted rupees 1 lakh debentures to Mr. Y. As per the deed, X can take the asset from Y or the income from Y during Y's lifetime. Discuss. Revocable.
61. Revocable transfer. There will be clubbing. And last question.
Suppose in the above case, the deed says that X cannot transfer the possession. Discuss.
That means this becomes which transfer? Irrevocable. Irrevocable mein clubbing comes only if it is spouse or son's wife. Correct? In that case, there will be no clubbing and income will be taxed in the hands of Y. Samjha kya? As I said, this is a very, very easy chapter. Well, thank you for your cooperation.